Good morning and peace be with you, dear sisters, teachers, parents, and friends in the spirit of St. Paul. It has been a while since we got to see each other because we are all struggling to the fundamental and drastic shift of our lives, still due to the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. We are all greatly affected. The educational landscape has transitioned to what we call as the new normal. The very reason why we have designed the home-based engagements and an alternative learning program or the HEAL program. It was organized to ensure that education continues despite the effects of the pandemic while observing proper health protocols. Through this plan, the school was able to adjust its curriculum, educational services, and processes to cater to the learner's needs and continue its mission towards quality Polinian education. The plan would also thresh out the action steps to deliver alternative learning setups and other possible similar scenarios in the future. Today, I welcome you back to St. Paul College of Makati through this online parents orientation. SPCM is always and will always be our home. A home that stimulates thirst for learning, hones skills, and develops potentials of Polinians. With this, they can be primed for the real world. Thank you for opting to join our online parents orientation, an opportunity for us to learn more, appreciate more, and culturally ready with the new norm in education. To start with, may we have the opening prayer to be led by Mr. James Rains Morales, Araling Panlipunan Subject Team Leader. Together, let us acclaim God's mercy and glory.
Let us be aware of Christ's presence in our hearts and adore his holy name. In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen. Father Almighty, we give you praise for the gift of education made possible by your grace. We thank you for gathering us this morning so that we may discuss important matters as we welcome a new school year. We pray that your Holy Spirit may enlighten us during this meeting and grant us the grace to work together for the good of our community. All this we ask and pray in the mighty name of your Son, Jesus. Amen. Mary, our mother and model, pray for us. Saint Paul, our patron, pray for us. Father Louis Chaubet and the First Sisters, intercede for us. May the love of Christ impel us, now and forever. Amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you so much, Sir James, for journeying with us through prayer. Indeed, there is no best way to keep us safe than to seek God's amazing grace and guidance. To formally welcome us in this online parents orientation, may we hear words from our very own vibrant and dynamic Directress Principal, Sister Mirna Castante, SPC.
and a pleasant day to all of you, dear parents and guardians, and a warm welcome to this virtual orientation. Thank you very much for taking time out from your very busy schedule to attend this orientation. Yes, your presence now is a proof that your child's education matters a lot to you. For this, we are grateful to you, dear parents and guardians. Thank you very much for believing in Polinian education by sending your children to St. Paul College of Makati. Rest assured that we
Dear parents, guardians, we will pause for a few minutes. We are having technical difficulties, but we will come back, okay, to listen to the welcome message of Sister Mirna. Thank you. So dear parents, again, we sincerely apologize for the technical problems. May we now hear once again the welcome message of Sister Mirna Castante, SPC.
A pleasant day to all of you, dear parents and guardians, and a warm welcome to this virtual orientation. Thank you very much for taking time out from your very busy schedule to attend this orientation. Yes, your presence now is a proof that your child's education matters a lot to you. For this, we are grateful to you, dear parents and guardians. Thank you very much for believing in Polinian education by sending your children to St. Paul College of Makati. Rest assured that we at St. Paul College of Makati are doing our best to continually improve our services in order to provide your children the quality Catholic Polinian education amidst this pandemic. At this point in time, and the third year of this pandemic, we find ourselves in the transitional period to face-to-face learning. The social, emotional, and mental health support are very important to help students navigate the new setup of hybrid learning. Amidst these times of uncertainty, still we keep in mind that we need to take care of ourselves. We need to take care of the health of our family members, especially the vulnerable ones. We strive to continually adapt to challenges brought about by this global crisis. This is to ensure that our education ministry continues, for this is our SPC congregation's sharing in Christ's mission. Through our home-based engagements and alternative learning program, we are making some adjustments to adhere to the requirements of our regulatory bodies, like the DepEd, our SPC Education Ministry, and the IATF, mindful of course with basic health protocols. Thus, we are offering hybrid and online modalities. In the past 2 years, social media is used positively to cope with pandemic. We use technology to our advantage, but technology does not replace our face-to-face contact. We recognize, though, that our levels of readiness and this matter differ due to some valid reasons. So, dear parents and guardians, we are conducting this orientation so that our coming school year 2022-2023 will be meaningful and fruitful for all of us, especially to our students. We keep hoping and believing that with God's merciful guidance, we will come out of this pandemic whole and victorious. Prayer is our best weapon. With God, nothing is impossible. Again, welcome to this virtual orientation. Caritas Christi urget nos.
Thank you, Sister Mirna, for that warm welcome. Your words will certainly make our parents confident that SPCM is ready to mentor, coach, and guide their children, the Polonians under our care. Those words will always be remembered as we prepare and get ready to set our goals for this school year. As we get through the orientation, please be reminded of the following. The session will be recorded. The session will be recorded and will be available in the SPCM YouTube channel. We will be opening a Q&A session at the end of all presentations. For your questions and clarifications, go to www.menti.com and use the code 71499418. Please also be informed that the code will appear in every slide. It has always been said that parents have a unique responsibility for the education of their children, as they are the first educators. We are the most, as a parent myself, we are the most influential agents of catechesis for our children. Having this said, nourishing a strong faith in our children is a partnership among the parish, the school's religious education program, and the family. To talk about the school's Christian formation program, may I call on Sister Maria Socorro Marcos, SPC, our Christian Formation Office Head.
Thank you very much, Ms. Ainsberg. I hope I am clear. So good morning, dear parents and guardians. I hope you're all doing fine with your families wherever you may be at this time. To tell you honestly, I've been praying for a face-to-face orientation. Siguro na-miss ko kayo. Hindi siguro, na-miss ko talaga kayo, na-miss ko yung mga bata. So I was really praying to have a face-to-face orientation because personally, I feel there is a greater impact when we come in person, greater impact because the connection is more personal when the encounter is in person. But for some reasons, we cannot have the face-to-face orientation. So nevertheless, I am still happy that we are here once again to have this parents orientation, because this is one signal that we are starting another school year. And I'm glad that we are here again together, despite and in spite of what is happening around us these days. So again, I welcome you all. Sabi ko nga, despite and in spite of what is happening around us. And undeniably, talagang mahirap po yung buhay ngayon. Kahit mayaman, mahirap talagang umiinda na life has become so difficult in all aspects. Financially, emotionally, psychologically, spiritually. So, mahirap ang buhay. And I'd like to start from there na I was actually wondering while preparing my presentation, nagpapasalamat ako sa Diyos that kahit mahirap ang buhay, still you are here with us. For the old parents, we come to journey again for another year, and for the new parents, for choosing St. Paul College of Makati. And with my curiosity, I'd like to begin with asking this question. Kasi naririnig ko sa ibang mga parents, no? Naku, ililipat ko na lang sa public school yung anak ko kasi makakalibre pa ako. So maraming parents po yung nagsasabi, and valid yung sinasabi nila. But I wonder, on your end, kahit mahirap yung buhay, what made you enroll your child to a private Catholic school? So I'd like to begin with that question. And syempre, dahil meron pong sagot. So, papracticein po natin yung gamit ng ating Mentimeter sa aking unang tanong. Sa aking una at nag-iisang tanong. Wag po kayo mag-alala, nag-iisa lang po yan. May I ask my companions to please flash the Mentimeter link. Again, while waiting po to the parents, my question is, bakit po kahit mahirap yung buhay, still you opted to enroll your child in a private Catholic school? Yan. Habang nag-aantay po tayo, pwede na po tayo mag-isip ng sagot natin. Miss Dean, Sir Sam, can we flash or Mag-antay lang ako. So dear parents, habang nag-aantay, I hope I can get several responses. If not, kung pwede po, lahat tayo mag-respond to the question. Ayan po, using the Mentimeter code, just go to www.menti.com and use the code 71499418. And then you will be directed to that question. And then you may type your answers inside the box. And then mag-a-appear na po dito ang ating mga kasagutan. And I hope po we will participate actively. Mag-antay po tayo ng mga sagot. I'm sure pag may nag-umpisa na po dyan ay the quality of education and values obtained. Thank you very much. Ayan, nag-uumpisa na. I'm sure pag may nag-umpisa po, susunod na po yung iba. Baka matagal lang po talaga mag-lag si Menti. Thank you for the one who responded. Quality of education. Okay, thank you. Culture and values. Thank you. My daughter wants to stay with SPCM. Thank you. We are still waiting for the other responses. Values formation and fun in learning. Thank you po. Good food. Exciting na sagot. Good food. Foster Christian education. Thank you. St. Paul's School is one of the best Catholic school we have here. Thank you po. Thank you for believing in us and for trusting us. And then we believe private school education provides better quality compared to public schools. Thank you po. I hope hindi po tayo ma-misinterpret ng iba pag nakita nila ito. But iba-iba naman po tayo ng pinanggagalingan why we have answered this. Then choice of my child. Sana po maging choice niyo po eventually. And then loving and caring teachers, pati po sisters, loving din po kami. And then great teachers, quality education and values for my daughter. SPCM is home. Yes, totoo po yan. SPCM has been my daughter's second home. Very effective heal program with or without pandemic. Thank you po. Academic and moral education. Quality of education, culture, and values. My daughter likes it there. Please, online class was offered. Being Polinian ourselves, we trust SPCM's quality of education and Christian formation and values. We love our alma mater. Thank you po for your loyalty. Quality education and values. SPCM has always been dependable village that helped me raise my son since nursery. Mabilis po yung galaw. Quality education, and we believe the core values of SPCM and security. Very effective HEAL program. As an alumni, I want my daughter to get some quality of education and values that I had. Excellent teachers, and my son loves them. Thank you po. Good and quality Christian values. SPCM has been our partner in molding our children to be the best they can be, both academically and spiritually. We believe in what SPCM can do during tough times. Okay, thank you very much po. Much as I want to read all your responses. Okay, last na po to. We were hoping that SPCM will take into consideration the health and safety of our children compared to other schools. That as stakeholders, we will have more freedom to choose learning modalities. Okay, thank you po. Narinig naman po natin dun sa message po ni sister that really our priority is to make sure to ensure the safety of our students, of our stakeholders. Okay, thank you very much po for all your responses, for your active participation. Maraming salamat po. Actually, nung ino-organize ko po yung presentation ko, sinabi ko sa sarili ko, naku, sana po may sumagot. Okay, and thank you because your participation is beyond my expectation. Okay, let me just share my screen po. To the host po, please allow me to share my screen. Thank you. Okay. Sabi po, host disabled participants to share screen. To the host po, may I ask permission to share screen? Ayan, thank you po. Share screen. Oh, nakita yung aking script. Ayan. Can you now see my screen po? Ayan. Sir Sam, naka-share na ba yung
Yes,
screen
yes,
po?
sister. We can see your screen po.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so let me just bring it to the right side. Okay, dear parents, I asked that question to affirm that we share the same aspiration and dreams for your children. If you look into the responses, there's a very common response na you appreciate the quality of education, the values formation, the Christian formation. And that is exactly the same aspiration and dream that we have for your children. Because you see, the vision mission of the school as the foundation of the goal of the Christian formation states that we want to imbue our students Christocentric Paschal spirituality. Hindi ko makita yung screen ko. Not only to be academically competent, but morally and socially responsible. So, siguro if we translate all our responses, we share the same aspiration na gusto nating mapabuti yung mga anak natin. Okay? Gusto nating magkaroon sila ng quality education, ma-form yung values nila, because gusto natin silang mapabuti. We want to ensure a good future for them. Kasi alam natin kapag hindi lang sila mabait, kundi mabuti sila, magkakaroon sila ng magandang kinabukasan. And I think there's no other way na to ensure that than to be able to bring our children closer to the Lord. And that is exactly what we aim with the Christian formation of our school. Okay, to imbue our students the Christocentric Paschal spirituality, meaning to say a spirituality that is centered on Christ. We want our children to make Christ the center of their lives. Because if Christ is the center of their lives, then definitely, ano man ang mangyari, hindi sila masishake, hindi sila maliligaw ng landas, and naturally it will flow that they will be morally and socially responsible. Kasi kay Kristo sila nakatingin. Okay? And that is what we want to do. Okay, but of course, again and again, lagi ko pong sinasabi ito tuwing nagkakaroon ako ng chance na kausapin kayo, that we cannot do this alone. Kailangan namin kayo para maging kaagapay namin. Okay? So this is our mission. Okay, that we make Christ the center of the lives of our children. Kasi kapag nakasentro kay Kristo yung buhay ng ating mga anak, they will be conformed into the likeness of Christ. Meaning to say, eventually, they will become like Christ. Okay, in the way they think, in the way they act, in the way they decide, in the way they speak. Okay, makikita si Kristo sa buhay at pagkatao nila. Yun po yung gusto natin. It be like Jesus Christ, who is a man for the Father. Okay, si Jesus Christ na walang ibang inintindi kundi ang kalooban ng Diyos. At yun din yung gusto natin sa ating mga anak. Okay? Na nakatutok kay Kristo para hindi sila mapariwara, hindi sila mawala ng landas. We want them to be like Jesus Christ, who is a man of prayer and discernment. Nagdadasal, pinag-iisipan mo na lahat ng bagay bago magdesisyon at gawin ang isang bagay. Okay? To be like Jesus Christ, who is a man of his time, na sumikat hindi dahil marami siyang pera, kundi sumikat dahil sa habag at awa na ipinakita niya sa mga tao during his time. The Jesus who is filled with so much love and compassion for his people. Okay? At yun din yung gusto nating gawin sa ating mga anak. Okay? To be like Jesus Christ who is a man for others. Na hindi lang iniisip yung sarili, yung mga mahal sa buhay, kundi iniisip din yung ibang tao. Okay? So ito po yung ating gustong mangyari sa ating mga anak. Okay? And we can only do that, okay, first and foremost, okay, by deepening the faith given to them in baptism. Okay? Why deepening their faith in baptism? Kasi paano nga naman sila makakasunod kay Kristo kung hindi sila naniniwala kay Kristo? Diba? So, the first move is to deepen their faith in baptism. Because it is only in believing in Jesus that they will be able to conform their lives to Jesus. Okay? It is only in believing in Jesus that they will be able to follow the examples and teachings of Christ. So this is our very first mission, to deepen their faith in baptism. And in doing that, we want to do it the Pauline way. We want to form our students, your children, the Pauline way. That's why over or on top of our formation activities or formation program is the PRISM program, which means Pauline Roots, Identity, Spirituality, and Mission. Okay. The aim of this program is that while deepening their faith, they build in themselves that Pauline identity. A Pauline identity that is rooted in the spirit of our humble origin. Okay? And that is centered on the Christocentric Paschal spirituality. Okay. Anong ibig ko pong sabihin dito? That while we deepen the faith of our students, your children, we want them to build that Pauline identity na hindi lang that they will carry wherever they will be after they have graduated from our school. Na dadalhin nila kahit saan sila pumunta, ano man ang maging edad nila, ano man ang maging career nila. At kapag sinabi mong Pauline identity, okay, itong identity na to should embrace that spirit of our humble beginnings. Alam nila kung saan nag-umpisa yung pagiging Pauline nila. Okay? And not only that, it's a Pauline identity that has imbibed the Christocentric Paschal spirituality. Meaning to say, that is the way of life that is patterned after the very life of Jesus. Si Jesus na nag-suffer, who also died, but rose again. Okay? Na ganun din yung gusto natin na ma-imbibe ng mga anak natin na sa buhay, hindi lang puro saya. Okay? Meron din tayong paghihirap. And there will be times when they have to die to themselves because they want to become a new person. Okay? They want to rise from their weaknesses. So ito po yung spirituality na gusto nating yakapin ng ating mga Paulinians. Okay? And in doing that, okay, eventually they become missionaries themselves, regardless of what career they will be into. Regardless kung saan man silang estado ng buhay, okay, mapupunta. Be it in the religious life, in married life, in single bless, okay, but they will be missionaries, okay, who will also bring Christ to others. So ito yung identity na gusto din namin i-build sa kanila. Okay? So that, okay, being this kind of Pauline, they may truly become prisms themselves through which the realities of Christ and the attributes of Christ passes through, giving light to the world, na maging ilaw sila sa mundo. Especially nowadays, no, na ibang-iba na talaga yung mundo. It has really been tainted by or rid evil and sin. At ang dream talaga natin is that our Polinian graduates become lights to the world. So, my dear parents, huwag tayong mawala ng pag-asa. Hindi tayo pwedeng magsabi na, naku, ganito na talaga ang panahon ngayon, wala na tayong magagawa. Meron pa rin po tayong magagawa. Okay? So, ito po yung dream natin, that our Polinian graduates become lights to others, become lights to the world. And how do we concretely do that? With the Christian formation of St. Paul College of Makati. We do that through the three components of Christian formation. We have the religious education, the campus ministry, and the community engagement service. The religious education is concerned with the instruction in the faith. Okay, the campus ministry attends to the prayer and sacramental life of the school, and the community engagement service translates faith into action and service. If you notice, each component, it focuses on a certain dimension, specific dimension of the human person. Kapag sinabi mong religious education and instruction in the faith, it's more of the development of the mind. Okay, their intellect. And then when you say campus ministry, it's on the development of the heart. Okay, that is translated to worship. And then when you say community engagement, it's the development of the hands for service. Okay, kung napapansin nyo, it's holistic. That's why they are intertwined. Okay, we have theology for instruction. Okay, theo, God. Okay, it's about learning about God or study about God. Spirituality, the way of life. And then service. Okay, so hindi pwedeng naniniwala lang sila. It should be translated into the way they live, their worship, their life of worship, and of course, their life of service. Okay, kung napansin ninyo, it's a holistic approach. Definitely, yes, because we want to form our children holistically. Hindi pwedeng head lang, hindi pwedeng heart lang, hindi pwedeng hands lang. Kasi kung hindi siya magiging balance. Hindi naman pwedeng sobrang laki ng ulo tapos ang liit-liit ng kamay, di ba? At ang liit-liit ng katawan. Hindi naman pwedeng ang laki-laki ng puso, ang liit-liit ng kamay, ang liit-liit ng ulo. So, kailangan pantay-pantay. Okay? So, we form them all together. Okay? The whole person at the same time. Okay? So, when we say religious instruction, it is to awaken, develop, and nourish the life of faith. Okay, ito po, under religious instruction are the CLVE classes of your children. Okay, nag-aaral sila ng tungkol sa Diyos, sa pananampalataya, sa simbahan, sa turo ng Diyos, sa turo ng simbahan. Okay, pag-aaral po ito. Bakit kailangan mag-aral, sister? Sabi nga natin, di ba, we need to deepen the faith. And when we say faith, hindi lang po basta pagdarasal at paniniwala. But when we say faith, it's a loving response to a God who reveals Himself. So kapag sinabi mong faith, it's a loving response to God na nagpapakilala ng sarili niya. Pero kailangan makilala mo muna siya. And through religious instruction, our children get to know Christ better. Okay? Kasi, di ba, you cannot make a loving response to someone you do not know, di ba? Parang kayo din, di ba, yung mga asawa ninyo, nagdaan din kayo sa panliligaw, sa pagiging boyfriend at girlfriend, okay? At minsan, maririnig mo pa yung linya na, nako, habang tumatagal, habang nakikilala kita, mas lalo kitang minamahal. Okay? So, ganun din po yung relasyon natin sa Diyos. We cannot expect our children to love God kung hindi nila kilala yung Diyos. That's why we have our religious instruction. Because with that, mas lalo nilang nakikilala ang Diyos. At sa pagkikilala nila sa Diyos, mas lalo nilang namamahal ang Diyos, mas lalo nilang nasusundan ang Diyos. Okay? So, yun po ang kahalagahan kung bakit meron tayong religious instruction. because through that, they get to know more about God, with the hope that in knowing more about God, they come closer to God, they come to love God more, and to follow God more closely. Okay, so that's religious instruction. Okay, teaching religion the importance of learning about God and understanding our faith, nurturing spirituality, the experience and expression of personal relationship with God, and promoting service, the loving response to others and their needs. Actually, nawala itong slide na to. Dapat ito ay bago pa dun sa religious instruction, because ito po yung 3 components ng Christian formation. Okay? Now, why is it important for them to understand our faith, to know more about God and understand our faith? Aside from in knowing more about God, they come to a loving response to this God who reveals Himself. But of course, it's also a way of making them understand the teachings of Christ, the teachings of the church, so that they will be properly guided when they are being faced with tough decisions. Okay? Kasi lalo na po ngayon, and they are exposed to so many things because of social media, technology. So they are exposed to so many things that marami silang mga katanungan. Sometimes they are faced with lots of choices, okay, that they need to choose and they need to decide. So kapag sila po ay naturuan ng kung ano ang tama at ano ang mali, okay, ayon sa turo ng Diyos, turo ng simbahan, then most likely we are more confident that they will make the right decisions, they will make the right choices. So that's one importance of having a very good foundation when it comes to religious instruction. Okay? At syempre po, real talk lang po ito. Alam naman po natin na kapag sa private Catholic school, talagang isa po yan sa mga tinututukan natin. Okay? Isa po yan, kung hindi man po, isa po yan sa mga tinututukan natin. And no comment na lang. But in other schools, di ba, na hindi Catholic school, talagang meron man sila, pero very minimal lang. Okay? Unlike kapag nasa Catholic school ka, talagang babad at tutok. Okay? So that's religious instruction. And aside from religious instruction, before we also have Poly Quiz B, Marian Quiz B, and then we also have ano pa yun? Bible Quiz B. But last year, the only thing we were able to do is the Poly Quiz B for both employees and the students. Okay, so part pa rin po yan ng religious instruction. The second component is the campus ministry, which is focused on the formation of the heart. From religious instruction, this has to be reinforced by sacramental life and prayer life. Okay, that's why the campus ministry is in charge of attending to the sacramental life and prayer of the whole school community and other stakeholders. That's why we have our Eucharistic celebrations. We have our confession. Although last year po, ang nag-confession lang po ay yung mga nag-first communion, yung mga tumanggap ng confirmation, and those who were able to come, also the employees who are on site and those who were able to come here. So talagang limitado lang po talaga yung naging mga activities natin on-site kasi nga alam naman po natin na hindi pa po talaga pwede last year. And then we also have retreats and recollections, although we had online recollections last year. And then we have depths, we have our depths, drop everything, pray, give thanks and share. This is for both students and employees. Okay, and we also have our prism sessions, our Marian celebrations and prayer services on special occasions in the church. Okay, so these are our campus ministry services. This is to reinforce, okay, to what is being taught in their Christian living and values education instructions or classes. Okay, so just to show you some of the activities that we were able to do both on-site and online under the campus ministry services last year. We have sessions on Mary, and then this was around October because it's a month of vocation. So we wanted to promote vocations. So and we have invited guests. Okay, we have priests, sisters, also youth volunteers. Okay. And then we also had our online family rosary. Okay, if you remember, we had this the whole month of October in celebration of the month of the Holy Rosary. Okay, I really want to put all your pictures of all the families who have actively participated, but you know, it will really take time for us to be putting in the slides and then showing it. So I'm really sorry that I was not able to put all the pictures. Samples lang po ito. And then we have the on-site Marian celebration. So our on-site employees also had their sayaw awit, okay, in celebration of the culmination of the Rosary Month. And then we had our Foundation Day. This was around October also, October 29. Okay, along with the culminating of the Rosary Month. And by the way, dear parents, during the Foundation Day last year, we wanted to celebrate it more meaningfully. And of course, you are part of this. Okay, hindi nyo lang alam, pero kasama namin kayo lagi. Okay, I'll share with you why, because during the Foundation Day last year, we invited in random some delivery riders. Okay, kasi nga sila po yung talagang nagtatrabaho during that time, no? And then also our outsourced employees, our mega personnel whose services were suspended for while the face-to-face classes were suspended. So since na-miss namin sila at alam namin na syempre mahirap din yung buhay, no? Inibita po namin sila dito, okay, to celebrate with us. We ate with them and then we gave them grocery packs. By the way, itong mga grocery packs po na pinamigay, ito po ay galing po sa inyong mga donations, galing po sa inyong mga community extension service donations. So, hindi po namin to magagawa ng kami lang. Kaya kasama po namin lagi kayo. Okay? And every time po that we have activities like this, lagi po namin sinasabi sa mga recipients na ito ay in collaboration with our parents who have been helping us in our activities. Ayan po. Kaya sobrang meaningful, sobrang saya po nung araw na to kasi they were really surprised, they were really happy and celebrated with us. Ayan po sila. And then come November, we had the recollection of our parents of the candidates for communion. Yan, online po. And then also the recollection of the candidates for first communion, their confession, and then their first Holy Communion. Salamat sa Diyos at nairaos natin ang kanilang first communion. Last December, we had the first communion of grades 3 and 4 because the previous year hindi po tayo nagkaroon. Kaya dalawang grade levels po yung nag-first communion. And then we had the Advent recollection of the parents online. This was initiated by the Family Council, okay, the very active Family Council. And then Advent recollection of students as well as the employees. Okay. And after that, we had the parents' recollection of the grade 6, yung mga nag-exit level po, grade 6, grade 10, grade 12. Yan. And then the recollection of the confirmants, yung mga candidates for confirmation, and then their confession, and then their confirmation. Ayan po. And then our regular activity po for the campus ministry for the on-site employees, we have their depth session of the on-site employees every Friday. Okay, alternate po yan. One Friday they have their depth session. It's like a Bible sharing of the gospel for the next Sunday. And then the others, next Friday, we have their, ang tawag dito, their catechetical instruction. Ayan, meron din po tayong online depth session sa ating mga faculty. And then we have our online mass. Online mass po natin, usually the first Friday masses. Most of the first Friday masses last year, we had our own here at St. Peter and Paul, but still online. But the purpose of that is for our on-site employees to have the mass in person. That's why we conducted our own. Although there is ministry-wide, meaning to say, lahat po ng Polinian schools ay meron pong isang Polinian school lang na nag-sponsor for a first Friday mass, but we had our own because yun nga po, because we wanted our on-site employees to have to receive really Holy Communion, to have the mass in person. Okay, but there were times also that we attended the ministry-wide. So these are our online masses. Ito po yung on-site mass natin last November, okay, first Friday of November, because we were the sponsor for the ministry-wide. So we asked 2 students to come, be readers, and the rest are some parents and the employees and the sisters. Yan. So all these activities is geared towards helping our children and all other stakeholders to grow more in love of God and His people. Yan po ang purpose ng ating campus ministry activities. Para by knowing God through the religious instruction, they will be able to, this will be reinforced through these activities at with the hope that while we attend or we celebrate these activities, mas lalong lumalago tayo sa pagmamahal sa Diyos. Lumalago yung mga bata sa pagmamahal sa Diyos. Okay? And then the third component of Christian formation, last na po ito. Sorry po, medyo mahaba. The third component of the community, the Christian formation is the community engagement service. Okay, this is in charge for the formation of the hands for service. Yan, nami-miss ko na po yung mga picture na po yan, hindi ko po tinanggal, although hindi po yan recent. Kaya lang nami-miss ko po talaga yung mga bata. Dati po kapag face-to-face po tayo, pag dismissal po yung mga bata, instead po na naglalaro, pumupunta po yan sa opisina ng Christian Formation at nagsasabi sila, "Sister, can we fix all the offerings, yung mga canned goods, yung mga damit?" So sila po yung nag-a-arrange noon, okay? At tinitignan nila yung expiry date para kapag may pagbibigyan, alam kung ano yung unang ibibigay. So nakakamiss po sila dahil nakakatuwa dahil on their own nag-i-initiate po sila, and that's a good sign, no, na they really want to get involved. So yun lang, kulang lang po talaga ng, alam niyo po yung mga kabataan ngayon, they really want to get involved. It's just that very limited yung opportunities na binibigay sa kanila. Kaya nga po, isa din po yung dahilan na sana maging okay na po yung panahon para mas mabigyan natin ng maraming opportunities pa po yung mga bata where they can be directly involved. Although they have been involved for the previous year kasi nga nagpapadala naman sila dito ng mga donations, kayo po nagpapadala dito, pero iba pa rin po talaga kapag yung mga bata na yung mismong gumagawa. Yan. So the community engagement service is a translation, is a way of translating faith into action. Okay, and in doing this, we form them to be socially responsible, warm servant leaders, community builders, and compassionate stewards. So ito po yung nangyayari sa kanila when we give them opportunities to serve others. The CES forms our students, employees, and other stakeholders and parents to be this one. Yan, nasabi ko na po. Okay. So there are 3 areas of concentration sa community engagement service po. Ito po ay social action and community service, okay, literacy and spiritual formation, and social-cultural. During the outbreak of the pandemic po, we simplified our community extension service with our Polylinga program. Okay? But under this, we have education, catechesis in public school, employees continuing formation, health, medical, dental mission. Ito po ay in collaboration with the Family Council. Actually, initiative po to ng Family Council, yung medical dental mission, but it's still on hold up to this time. Yung catechesis in the public school, still on hold din po, pero talagang ginagawa po natin yan before. And then we have the SPCDRRM. Okay, for your information po, last year we were able to give really help to those who were to the victims of the typhoon in northern Luzon. So nakapagpadala po tayo niyan. Galing din po sa inyong mga donations o yung binabayaran po ninyong community extension service fee. At nakapagpadala din po tayo ng malaking tulong sa Surigao. So pasensya na po kayo at hindi lang po talaga ako nakapagbigay ng update, pero marami po tayong natulungan na hindi nyo lang po alam. Pero yun nga, sabi ko po, kung wala po kayo, hindi din po magiging posible. Kasi alam niyo naman, private school, 'di ba? Nakasalalay lang po talaga sa kung ano po ang sa bayad ng bata, yung ating mga operations sa school. So lahat po ng ginagawa ng school, lahat ng serbisyo na naibibigay ng school outside ay dahil din po yan sa suporta ninyo. So we also have our advocacy, and then community pantry, agape, and then the Christmas tree. Okay. We also have our scholarship grant, organization of SPCM Pulling Volunteers for Mission, although hindi pa po natin ito nagagawa dahil nga po limited pa po yung galaw natin ngayon, wala pa po yung mga bata. Hopefully po ay maumpisahan po natin yung pag-form ng mga Pulling Volunteers for Mission. So this time po, malapit na po ito. Ito po ay mga pictures na lang to end yung mga community extension services that we were able to deliver through your help. So ulitin ko po, we were your hands and feet. Kami pong dito on site. Pero kayo po yung behind the scene na sumusuporta sa amin. So last year po, we had sustained our support to the AGA program. We sponsored twice a month sponsorship for 100 packs. Okay, ito po yung feeding program nila sa mga street dwellers at sa mga naapektuhan talaga nitong pandemic. So twice a month, nagpe-prepare po talaga yung on-site employees natin. They are grouped according to their depths group. So nagpe-prepare po sila ng food pack. Okay, and of course, yun po yung chance namin to have a small fellowship together. Kasi after po nitong packing ay kami din po ay nagsasalo-salo. Same food kung ano po yung pinapack namin. Okay, yan po. Not only that po, sisters also po, aside from what we give to the parish, once in a while when there are congregational congregational occasions po, the sisters also, we do it upstairs sa aming kumbento po. Nagpapack din po kami with the girls. At kami din, we go and distribute food packs to street dwellers around Makati. So, yan. And then, we still sustained our support to the community pantry until nga po hanggang sa slowly nawala na din po yung community pantry kasi wala na din po sigurong budget yung parish. So hanggang po sa nawala yung community pantry, we sustained our support to the community pantry. Nagbibigay po tayo ng certain amount monthly as a support to the community pantry. And then, last December, we had our Christmas drive and gift giving in close collaboration with the Family Council. So ito po, inipon po namin yung mga pinapadala po ninyo dito. Di ba nagkaroon po tayo ng Christmas drive, pinagsama-sama po namin yun. Yun po yung pinak namin. Okay? And we were able to give the employees on their own initiative, nagbigay po sila ng 100 packed toys from the SPC, from the employees. And yung sa ito po pala, meron tayo from Rubina po, humingi din po kami ng sponsor sa Rubina. They were able to give us candies and cookies. Okay, so we were able to give 100 loot bags packed for the ATAS handed over to San Carlos Seminary for distribution. So nakarating pa po sa Zambales yung ating mga loot bags. Okay? Not only that, nagbigay din tayo ng loot bags sa mga bata around Poblacion Makati. Okay? And also, we also gave loot bags, 50 packs of loot bags sa mga street dwellers po sa Antipolo. Yun naman po ay kinare off namin sa aming mga sisters who are in formation. Okay? And we gave 140 spaghetti packs to Saints Peter and Paul Parish for their Alay Pag-ibig program. And we had our gift giving to street vendors, street children, garbage collectors, carpenters, street sweepers, and other people in need around Poblacion Makati po. We gave 200 grocery packs. Yun po ang naging bunga ng ating Christmas drive. So maraming salamat po sa walang sawang tulong ninyo dito po sa ating mga programa. Okay, hindi po to, marami po tayong mga taong napasaya. Kung titignan po ninyo itong mga pictures natin, ayan, during the packing, yan, sila po yung mga taong by surprise lang, hindi nila ina-expect na may darating. Kasi nag-ikot lang po talaga kami, wala po kaming target, kundi kung sino yung makita namin siyaan. Pero may classification, yung pinakita ko nga po kanina. And they were so surprised na nagulat na lang sila, oh, my blessing. And kung nandun po kayo, mararamdaman po ninyo na iba po talaga yung saya kapag nakapagdala ka ng saya sa ibang tao. Yan. Yan yung mga pictures. Ang nag-distribute po yan ay kami po kasama yung mga on-site employees, tapos yung mga representatives from the Family Council. Yan. Yan. Okay, so ngayon po, last year po, ang nangyari, kami po yung gumawa noon dahil nga po ay limited po yung galaw at hindi pa po pinapayagan yung mga bata at yung karamihan po sa inyong mga parents ay talagang hindi pa lumalabas. So kaya kami po yung gumawa noon. Pero kung sa normal po na lahat po tayo gagawa noon. So the very reason is that by our active participation in the outreach program, our students, employees, and even the sisters, we will develop our value of volunteerism, okay, and are led to become true servant leaders following the footsteps of Jesus Christ, the Master who came to be served, not to be served, but to serve. So I think that ends my presentation for the community engagement service. Just an appeal po, okay, una po sa lahat, since pwede na pong magsimba, kung free, kung nakakalabas naman na po kayo ng bahay, I hope you will remember to bring back your children to the church. Kasi hindi ko po talaga alam kung paano gagawin, kung paano natin ibabalik yung mga bata sa simbahan after more than 2 years of being locked in the comforts of our homes, and we celebrate the Mass at home. So sana po ay tulungan niyo po kaming maibalik sila sa simbahan. And second po, please continue po supporting our Christian formation activities, particularly po our community extension services. Kasi tulad nga po ng sabi ko, kung kami lang naman po, hindi po talaga namin magagawa yan kasi kayo po yung support na talagang kayo po yung nagsusupport doon. Real talk po, kayo po talaga yung nagbibigay ng resources na pwede nating ma-share sa ating mga kapatid na talagang naapektuhan po nitong pandemic at pati na po ng mga natural calamities na dumarating. So, yun po yung dalawang pinaka-appeal ko. Yan. So, maraming salamat po, and that ends my presentation. And at this point po, I'd like to thank you for your continued support to St. Paul College of Makati. More than financial support, I thank you for your trust and confidence in us. And we may have some shortcomings, but we assure you po that our topmost priority is to really give the best to your children. So maraming salamat po, and have a nice day ahead. Thank you po. Yeah, I think we will open the floor for your questions. Yeah, for your questions and clarifications po. Yan. So for your questions and clarifications po, again, go to www.menti.com and use the code 71499418. So please feel free po to ask. I will answer your questions the best I can. Just in case hindi ko po masagot, pwede po nating i-reserve. And then, but I will try to answer all for your questions. And while waiting for your questions to come in, let it be known po for the parents of grades 8 and 9, incoming grades 8 and 9, who yung mga grade 7 and 8 po last year na nag-confirmation, the confirmation picture is now ready po for pick up. They may be picked up starting Monday po. But no hurry po, nandito lang naman po yung kanilang mga pictures. No questions for now, but we'll have an open forum later for everyone. Okay, sige. So sabi po ng ating host ay we'll just have an open forum later daw po. So, but you can type your questions po, and then we'll just answer them later. Thank you very much po.
Thank you, Sister Socorro, for enlightening us with the school's aspirations and dreams, as well as the presentation of religious activities. Okay, listening to you was really overwhelming. But the parents are assured that their children are formed not merely as competent learners, but we make saints out of our Polinians, so that they will become the light of the world in their respective families and light of the world, of the world eventually. And we take that challenge, Sister Socorro. As parents, we will bring back our children to the church, and we will continue supporting the school's advocacies. At this point, okay, with what I am about to say, I would like to believe that majority of the parents, if not all, will agree with this. It has been 2 years, and up until now, we have been troubled of how we would be able to still adopt and adjust to the new normal in the field of education, especially with the latest learning modalities. The question, are we really ready this school year, considering that learning has already been done at the comfort of our homes? That's the question. But parents, worry no more. I know that you are all have been waiting and craving for this academic orientation. The best person who would give us an orientation and updates of the HEAL program is an educator who never gets tired of working even in the wee hours of the night the man who is always passionate in his teaching, the visionary. Let us welcome Mr. Raymond Andre Samonte, our Assistant Academic Services Head.
Good morning, everyone. I hope my video and audio is clear to you. Let me just prepare my slides. No, I could also see certain questions already in the Mentimeter, most of which hopefully I would be able to answer. I know very well that you are also eager to know what are the school's decisions and probably the school's actions po, no, towards the recent um, proclamations or pronouncements of the Department of Education. Okay, so let me just check with my companions if the slides can be seen readily. Okay, so thank you. All right. So let me begin with this one. Since for the past years, we have been already implementing the home-based engagements and alternative learning program. It has been already 3 seasons, no? Parang series lang siya. Season number 3 na po ngayon. So we began with the HEAL program, and then last year we have HEAL program 2.0. And then at this time around, no, the 3rd season, so to speak, is now the HEAL program Beyond Borders. Now, why Beyond Borders? Later on, we'll see, because we really tried, no, to go beyond the 4 corners of the classroom, and it's actually very exciting for me what is in store for next year. Lalong-lalo na po nandiyan na yung mga terms na alam natin or yung mga naririnig na natin like blended, hybrid, no, face-to-face, pure online, etc. Okay, so let me oops. Okay, so I think the MC Mrs. Moreno was able to mention this one, no, that the HEAL program basically this time around, the HEAL program Beyond Borders is now about really transitioning, no, towards hybrid learning and face-to-face learning. St. Paul College of Makati believes that whatever we invested in the past 2 years has to be progressive. No, we should not regress. No, ibig sabihin po yung mga ininvest natin na technology, hindi lang po sa school, pati sa bahay nyo, di ba? Talagang nagpakabit pa kayo ng internet, kinulit nyo pa yung internet provider, bakit wala pa sila, bakit nagpa-fluctuate, etc. So marami tayong stress, no, nung time na yon. But this time around, we have to see it, no, as an integral part of education, because time and again, we had proved that education is not only limited to the 4 corners of the classroom. It is always going beyond the borders of a certain room or a certain classroom at that. So therefore, the HEAL program Beyond Borders enables us or should enable us to face the next normal. Hindi na po new normal, no? Next normal na ano na yung magiging normal sa susunod while we live, no, with COVID and in other situations, lalo na, no, nabalita po kahapon na pumasok na yung monkeypox. So ano na namang preparations? How do we face it now as an institution? Okay? So, and then take note that this program is also applicable or maybe applicable to other similar scenarios in the future. But first, let me define, no, again, yung ano po ibig sabihin ng blended at hybrid. For the information of everyone watching, no, in our YouTube live, some of the audience now are new parents, some of the audience are prospective parents, and some are our old parents. So therefore, at least we have the same frame of mind, no, when we talk of blended and hybrid and high flex, etc. So when we talk of blended learning, in a summary, dun lang po tayo pupunta sa baba. when we combine in-person instruction with online activities, we are actually referring to the same person. And if we refer to the same person, we are actually advocating the blended learning. So ang ibig sabihin po nito, same individuals are learning online and in person in the same place. So say for example, in an institution like St. Paul College of Makati, minsan merong kahit nandito sila sa school, meron sila mga learning activities online at meron din silang learning activities na nasa classroom. So ibig sabihin po nun, you are talking nagbe-blend no yung modality na na-experience ng isang learner. Okay? So but more likely within the same confines no of an institution or probably a certain building. No? When we talk of hybrid learning naman, we are talking about different individuals, no? Learning and online and in person at different places. So ibig sabihin, kagaya po nung gagawin natin for this incoming school year, some of the students are in class and some of the students are online. But they are learning at the same time, no? And then there is another term called as high flex, no? Yung ibang schools high flex po yung ginagamit, no? I'm very interested, no? How will they do it, no? Bakit po hindi high flex yung sa atin, or are there certain elements na pwedeng tawaging high flex yung HIL program natin? So when we deal with hybrid learning, this is about a mix of face-to-face, asynchronous at synchronous online activities. So siguro medyo familiar na po tayo. Ano yung asynchronous, ano yung synchronous. And then it is about determined sessions for each learning modality. So ibig sabihin may time na kung saan online ka, may time na face-to-face ka, may time na pwede kang full day or full week no na online. Pero sabay kayo ng iba't ibang learners. Meanwhile, when we talk of high flex learning, students can choose their method of participation. Maybe it's by week or maybe by topic. So ito, hindi masyado restricted no yung bata kung anong pipiliin niyang learning modality na gusto niyang mangyari sa kanya. No? This is undetermined sessions for each learning modality. So the students have a choice now. Say for example, he would like to learn how to read. The student has a choice if he or she will go to face-to-face, to online, no? Or probably asynchronous na lang. No? Hindi na kailangan na material na lang or content na lang ang kanyang kaharap. No? So yun po yung high flex, no? So it involves more personalized learning. But for our term, no, ang gagamitin po natin ay yung hybrid learning kasi mas fit siya para doon sa learning modality natin. Kasi yung bata naman, pag nag-enroll for example ng hybrid, may defined sessions no, for online and face-to-face. So in a nutshell, ito po pwede natin tignan yung diagram na ito. Nandun po tayo sa bandang ilalim, no, yung hybrid, kung saan pwedeng nasa institution yung bata, pwedeng nasa online or any portable gadget connected in the internet or being online, and the content is accessible 24/7. No? So that's how we will be doing it. Kasi pag sinabi po nating blended, more likely, pwedeng online or in person, but usually within the same institution, defined learning time in the same institution. Meanwhile, high flex, the student has a choice no kung paano niya kukunin or maiintindihan or matututunan ng isang particular skill, maybe in a school, online, or maybe asynchronous, no? Yun po yung kanyang learning modality when we deal with high flex learning. Okay, so I hope it clears better no kung ano pong ibig sabihin nun. Therefore, the HIL program Beyond Borders, as we prepared no for this incoming school year, we had an alternative choice no for the student. We have either a hybrid learning modality or an online distance learning modality. Since at that time, when we were preparing, pre-kinder is not yet allowed, no, to go to school to face-to-face. Kaya po yung pre-kinder is a full online distance learning modality. But the rest of the grade levels, pwede po sila, may option po sila, no, ng hybrid learning modality. So which one will you choose, no? So just in case for those parents out there na hindi pa po nakakapag-decide, no, kung ano ba talaga, hybrid ba and online ba ang gagamitin natin. Number one, no, advantage if your daughters or your sons are vaccinated, pwede po kayo sa hybrid learning. Okay? Kasi it lessens the risk, no, when you have a vaccine or when your child has a vaccine. So preferable po siya sa vaccinated students. Hopefully po later on makapag-booster na din yung mga bata, no? And then with easy access to transportation, alam naman po natin yung presyo ng gasolina right now, no? Medyo tumataas, although may mga certain rollbacks, but still, no, medyo costly pa rin siya. And then without existing health conditions. While for the online learning modality, preferable po for those who are not yet vaccinated, no, I hope for a good reason. And then location is outside Makati and its neighboring cities. So with existing health conditions, immunocompromised family members, no? So we have been also receiving feedback coming from other families na immunocompromised yung family members nila, kaya gusto maging online distance learning yung bata para hindi din makakahawa. And then we also have families, no, without qualified adult to supervise, you could really go for hybrid learning. Wala pong magbabantay, wala pong kayang makapagturo, no? Minsan mga lolo, lola lang talaga yung nagbabantay, hindi na masubaybayan talaga na during school hours. And then with unstable internet connection and manifesting lack of social skills and negative mental health. Ayan, lalong-lalo na po within the 2 years, hindi masyado nakalabas, wala masyadong social interaction, nagkakaroon na po ng deficiency in social skills. Okay? And then when we talk of online learning modality, these are also for families who have qualified adult to supervise with stable internet connection and technology capability. So nag-invest na po, no, yung parents ng laptop, ng device. Minsan po may mga setup pa, no, parang streamer na sila. Maganda yung internet connection. So just in case na effective, no, if you feel that effective yung online learning distance sa inyo, online distance learning rather, then you could go for that. And then effectively learn using an online distance learning setup. Okay, and then for the HEAL program Beyond Borders, we would be seeing our curriculum. We dub it as fostering learning engagements, cultivating healing spaces. No? So we cultivate healing spaces now wherever we are when we deliver the curriculum. So first and foremost, we have to take note, no, that our curriculum is revitalized, no? Parang it has been enhanced by the outcomes-based education framework. The OBE or outcomes-based education framework has been used, no, in the tertiary and has been brought down to the basic education. Now we are one of the few schools that is implementing transformational outcomes-based education in the Philippines. And then the details on this will be dealt during the first parents assembly. And then we also would be using the DepEd most essential learning competencies. In terms of the K-12 learning domains, we will be following them, but of course with a little bit of touch, no, of CLV or Christian living and values education, together also this time with GMRC, no, yung good moral and right conduct. And then for pre-kinder to grade 6, we'll be having library periods, no, care of Scholastic reading program. And then we will be reintroducing robotics for grades 7 to 12. Now for the TLE specializations, we have the following grades. For grades 9 and 10, we have technical drafting, computer programming, food and beverages, caregiving for grade 9, and bookkeeping for grade 10. And then for the senior high school programs, we have the general academic strand, health allied program, and then humanities and social sciences, and then science, technology, engineering, and mathematics strand. Now for the TLE elective, no, for grades 11 and 12, we have caregiving, computer programming, and technical drafting. So as early as now, grade 10, no, yung mga grade 10 students and parents po, you might like to think, no, of still being a Polinian all throughout grades 11 and 12. Kasi sayang naman, lalong-lalo na yung mga dati ng mga students, lalo na yung mga nagstay for nursery, 'di ba? Kinder, grade 1, sayang naman kasi hindi sila gagraduate as Polinians. So pag-isipan po natin 'yon. In fact, we are very proud, no, that our first batch of senior high school had graduated already. Many of them are has Latin honors, no. Later on in our social media and in our website, we will be releasing their testimonials, how the senior high school program have helped them. No? So, ibig sabihin yung mga clamor po ng mga bata na new experience, new setup, new school, 2 years lang nilang ma-enjoy yun. No? So, bakit hindi natin pagstayin sila, no? Being a Polinian until grade 12, then tsaka i-transition sila sa college kasi ganun din naman. No, even in fact, they have more skills in our when they will be graduating in our school kasi we have more subjects, no, to offer. Katulad po niyan, no, TLE, no, kasi not all schools are delivering TLE electives kapag po academic ang strand. Okay, so also please be informed, no, that we are an ESC participating school. So yung grades 7 to 10 is enjoying currently 13,000 government subsidy under the GASPE program, managed by the PEAC, or the Private Education Assistance Committee. For the grade 7, current grade 7, or the incoming grade 7, we will be having a separate discussion and orientation for the ESC, as well as the grade 11, no, for the voucher program. They are enjoying naman po 18,000 government subsidy. So maganda din po, 'di ba? Kung tayo ay nasa St. Paul, Makati, we are also helping you, no, in terms of your finances. Okay, now how about for instructional delivery and assessment? So take note that for the past years, we have been learning, or we have been doing this one. No? We learn through synchronous and asynchronous learning for online distance learners. And this time for hybrid learning, meron naging tatlo. No? You have an in-person instruction, synchronous online learning, and asynchronous online learning. So this is what we call now as a blended learning if we are talking about an individual or a student. And then take note, no, last year po, or for the past 2 years, I think, merong AM/PM session, no. So rather last year lang pala, no, AM/PM session, but this time we'll go back to the single session. And then instructional delivery this time, no, is more focused on learning experiences and engagements. Kaya po, importante talaga sa atin na magplano ng mga learning experiences. In fact, yung mga teachers po, since as early as July 5, sinabihan na po sila to prepare, no, on the different learning experiences and engagements. Kasi halimbawa, yung bata, no, nag face-to-face siya or nag-hybrid session siya for today. He or she will not expect anymore na full-time lecture or the whole period lecture yon, kasi ginagawa na yon, eh, 'di ba? Minsan nga yung mga bata parang gusto na lang ipindutin yung pause, no, kasi naboboring na sila dun sa mga teachers, no? O kaya naman pwede bang i-fast forward, no? Yung content o yung pagsasalita ni teacher, punta na tayo doon sa learning activity. Okay? So therefore, the instructional delivery is expected to be more focused on learning experiences, no? Building up really engagements between student and teacher, students to student, or probably to content and the student. So learning equity is also vital in the preparation of learning experiences. I know that some of the concerns, no, of the parents are this. Baka mamaya mapabayaan yung online learners. Yung mga nasa face-to-face lang yung haharapin namin o kumbaga tuturuan ng maayos. Hindi po, no? Part of our preparations is to ensure that there is learning equity involved. So therefore, in terms of the learning experience, it may vary in terms of modality. Maaaring yung isa naka-online, yung isa naka-in-person, pero dapat yung learning experience niya on how he or she will be developing the skills and competencies and the values dapat pantay-pantay. Okay? Kaya po, mapapansin natin that we will be fostering student voice and student choice this time when it comes to assessment, no, or leading to assessment. This means that the learning material and the platform may vary. No, yung material na ginagamit, maaaring online isa, printed yung isa. No, o maaaring through virtual platform yung isa naman hindi, no? But they are targeting the same competency with the same rubric, no? So that's how one of the ways, no, that we ensure that there is learning equity. So also, assessments are dependent on the quality of the learning engagements. Therefore, student outputs may be done in different platforms, no? As I think I mentioned that a while ago. And collaborative outputs are utilized following health protocols. So there might be still times that you would be collaborating. It may be that the teacher would like the collaboration to be online plus on-site, meaning some of the groups online and some of the group members are on site, no, para talagang may student interaction. Pwede namang per platform, ibig sabihin po lahat ng online magkakagrupo, lahat ng on-site magkakagrupo. Okay, depende po yun, but the main thing here is we have to be adaptable also, no, to the kind of learners that we have. So kung pwede lang po, request ko lang talaga, no, sa mga parents natin, pasalamatan natin yung mga teachers kasi hindi po talaga naging madali, no, yung preparation nila. Hindi talaga single plan lang ang ginawa nila, kundi they are really considering the learning equity. And then rubrics for grading will be the same since the same competency is addressed. Though in terms of the rubrics, there may be a little variation in terms of platform, modality, but in terms of that, in terms of the content, in terms of the kind of output, it might be the same. And then please be also informed that academic excellence awards, no, yung mga ano po tawag dito, academic excellence with honors, with high honors and highest honors, and as well as the recognition for the life performance outcomes will be given to all grade levels, no. Last year po nire-introduce siya sa graduating levels or sa exit levels. This time, in accordance also with the DepEd memo, it is given now to all grade levels. And then, so we'll bring them back, no? So therefore, we'll be having also virtual convocation. So natatandaan po natin, no, pre-pandemic may mga convocations tayo. So ngayon po magkakaroon po tayo ng mga ilang virtual convocations din. Okay, so next, we will be also using this time or this year project-based learning or PBL. So this is now for the horizontal articulation of culminating tasks. Ibig sabihin po nito, last year or for the previous years, nag-i-integrate naman talaga, no, yung mga subject areas in terms of their task. But some of them are purposeful, some of them are not, no? But this time around, since we have project-based learning, we are more geared, no, towards the making a certain culminating task as purposeful. At the same time, they have a thematic concept this time. So mas purposeful, mas directed, no, mas maganda yung integration ng iba't ibang subjects for the culminating task. By the way, we'll call before po we call them as authentic tasks. This time, no, to be in line also with outcomes-based education, we'll call them as culminating tasks. And then we also have the introduction of qualitative and descriptive assessment reporting. Before, meron lang po tayong reporting na quantitative, no? Yung grades lang ang pinagbabasihan natin. However, being learned, no? Kung alam natin yung outcomes-based education, mapapansin po natin na yung OBE fosters qualitative and descriptive assessment. Why? Because a child, or if you describe a child, you don't describe him or her in terms of grades, 'di ba? Hindi naman po numero yung mga bata. Instead, if we would really like them to be described in terms of what they had achieved, we describe them, no, in terms of, not in terms of numerals, not in terms of percentages, but in terms of qualities, in terms of characteristics. Okay, so therefore later on po i-introduce talaga namin yan paunti-unti lang, no, kasi para medyo mawala din yung very qualitative, quantitative rather, nature ng assessment natin. Okay, kasi minsan nakakalimutan natin na yung mga bata, tao sila, no? Hindi sila numero na binabasihan lang natin, rather yung knowledge nila by their numbers. So next is tasks are designed to achieve the Polinian learning outcomes. So again, the outcomes will be discussed further during the first parents assembly. No, this time po, the tasks are divided into 3 written outputs. No, ito po yung mga anything that is written in nature, and then performance tasks. These are demonstrated, graded with rubrics, and then we have the culminating task. So ito po ay culmination, no, ng iba't ibang learning tasks na ginawa nila previously for the quarter. So therefore po yung parang nung time before, yung mga major projects natin, yun po yung culminating task this time. And then based on the released recent pronouncement of DepEd, the grading system will now follow the DepEd Order 8 series of 2015. Ano po yun? Yun po yung grading system before the pandemic. Okay? So ibig sabihin po nun, meron na po ulit, no, na written outputs, performance task, and quarterly assessment. Okay? So before po or during pandemic, nawala po si quarterly assessment. No? Pero this time, we have to still think about, no, the transition to online and hybrid learning. What does that mean? Before po, yung quarterly assessment natin, yun yung forms ng periodic test, no, at saka mastery test. So this time, since there are still online learners, and we also advocate performance-based assessments, the quarterly assessment is now in terms of the culminating task. Okay, so yung mga big projects or yung mga big performance-based tasks, yun po yung culminating assessment, yun yung magiging quarterly assessment natin. Now, ano pong mangyayari ngayon dun sa paper and pen test? Mawawala na ba totally yung paper and pen test? Hindi naman, no? They are still part of an assessment. It is still a good way or a good technique or strategy for assessment, pero ilalagay lang natin siya sa written output, no? So this time, we'll include knowledge test in the instructional delivery, pero hindi naman po siya kasing laki ng periodic exam. Parang medyo mastery test lang siya, no? Parang a small number of tests, like 30 to 40 items, yung ganun lang. And it is done during the time of the teacher. So less formal siya. Para saan po ba to? Kailangan kasi na ma-check ni teacher kung alam ba niya yung dapat niyang malaman before going to the culminating task. Why? Because you cannot do the culminating task without the knowledge or the mastery of the content. Okay? So hindi po pwede nilang gawing i-perform lang talaga yung culminating task without having the knowledge test or without passing the knowledge test. Okay? So, and then in terms of the delivery of instruction, there are certain learning resources that you have to be acquainted with. So this would help now the learners achieve the outcomes. So first we have the OBE journal. When we talk of OBE journal, this is an outcome-related written output and reflection logs, or this is where we put in, or the students will put in some of the written outputs and some of the reflection logs. So basically, when a student would be receiving this journal, it's just a blank page. The rest of the instructions will be given by the teacher. No? Kasi depende po yan kung ano yung reflection prompt nila na ibibigay ni teacher. Okay? So at this point, it is still on reproduction. It is still on process. So we'll inform you regarding the release date of or dates of these journals via SPCM parent and student account. No? By the way po, in case na wala pa po kayong mga SPCM parent and student account, please do email the information, no, info@spcmakati.edu.ph. Again, info@spcmakati.edu.ph, no, para po sa mga accounts. Although next week po, lalo na po yung mga new students, we will be releasing the accounts to you. And then we have also the textbooks. No, at this time around, we will be having printed and digital copy. No, for specifically for math, science, and MAPE. No, ibig sabihin po nito, there are some books na talagang printed pa rin. Some are available on both printed and digital. So, ibig sabihin po nun, nakapasok po sa learning management system natin yung mga books. So just in case po na hindi nadala or nakalimutan ng bata kung nasaan yung libro or naiwan niya sa school, for example, pwedeng-pwede pa rin niyang ma-access, no, yung libro through our learning management system. And also, take note that this acts as a main resource only. No? Hindi po siya yung pinaka-syllabus ng isang teacher. Ibig sabihin po, don't expect the textbook na page by page siyang i-deliver. Talagang pwedeng maiba-iba yung delivery ng nasa libro. At the same time, hindi naman po kailangan lahat talaga ng exercises doon. No? Kasi sometimes it's not already helping in the development of the outcomes or the learning outcomes. Okay? But rest assured po that this time around, mas magre-refer yung mga bata sa mga textbooks, no, para matulungan din sila ng mga teachers to achieve the learning outcome. So it was planned together, no, in terms of the assessment. Another thing is the project-based learning resource book. No, so each learner would be receiving this one. So it contains some of the worksheets for the horizontally articulated tasks and outputs. So before po kasi meron tayong worksheet, lahat ng worksheet nasa isang nasa isang parang booklet na siya, no? This time around, at least mas merong multimodal, no? Iba't iba yung pwede nilang kuhaan ng resources. Okay, so and then we have, of course, the learning management system as a platform or through Genio e-learning, which acts as the main platform for the learning package, submission, and communication also. No, in fact, mas i-utilize natin siya kasi the students would be building up also their own portfolio. No, so that's part of an assessment later on. No, magbi-build po sila ng e-portfolio. Ibig sabihin, matututo po sila mag-collate ng mga learning experiences nila. And then all learning presentations and assessments will be also posted via the learning management system or through Genio. And then this time around for the class schedules, kindly take note of the class schedule. This is a sample class schedule for the different grade levels. So siguro po ang i-mention ko po yung oras, no, para yun yung mas matatandaan natin. So take note po that for hybrid learners, there are certain days wherein you will be in school, and for Thursday, Friday usually online po yan, kasama po ng online distance learners, no? Sa online distance, syempre po all throughout the session, we will be having you will be having your lessons online or via online. Okay? So for early years, your time will be 9:30 to 1 o'clock. Okay, so medyo nagpo-pause lang po ako saglit. Baka mamaya nagsi-screenshot po kasi yung iba, no? Okay, and then this is for grades 1 to 3. So mapapansin nyo rin po, medyo in-update natin ng kaunti yung oras. Baka po yung mga naatanan natin na previous orientations, hindi po ganito. So take note na lang po, no, from 9:30 to 1:40 or 1:50. Grade 3 is until 1:40. Grades 1 and 2 is 1:50. Para rin po hindi sabay-sabay nang uwi yung mga bata. Though that's one part of managing, no, the students in a hybrid setup. Okay, and then mentoring periods are still implemented this time around. Mapapansin po natin na yung mga teachers po talagang mamimit na nila yung mga bata every week in terms of the mentoring or consultation periods. Okay, and then this is for grades 4 to 6. Okay, that is from 9:30 until 2:50 or 2:40 for grade 6. Okay, next is grades 7 to 10. Okay, 7 to 10 is 9:30 to 2:50 then for grades 7 and 8, while for grades 9 and 10, we have 2:40. Okay, and then for grades 11 and 12, we have the same time, 9:30 to 2:40. All right, next. Now, take note also in terms of the hybrid sessions or the hybrid learning modality, you will be going to school every other week, no? So, ibig sabihin po, titingnan po natin kung kayo ay nasa odd grade level or nasa even grade level, no? So, ibig sabihin po, yung grades 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and 11, kayo po yung papasok ng week 1. Sorry po, mali po pala yung nilagay ko. Week 1 and 3. Kindly correct that. I'll correct that po, no? Week 1 and 3. And then for the even grade levels, it's week 2 and 4. Okay, week 2 and 4 po. Yan. And then on week 5, in case that there are months wherein we have week 5, it is intended, no, for a disinfection. Although every day naman po magdi-disinfect tayo, yun lang at least yung week 5, it's parang mas general cleaning po yung mangyayari. All right. So to accommodate also more hybrid learners, we already opened, no, batch 2 for hybrid sessions. Ibig sabihin po, meron kasing mga grade levels na marami po talaga ang gusto ng hybrid sessions. Okay? So just in case po that you wanted to shift again, no, yung halimbawa po ngayon naka-enroll po tayo online, you wanted to shift in a hybrid, nung una pong sinabi sa atin puno na yung hybrid session, you may still inquire, no, at the registrar's office. Their email po is registrar@spcmakati.edu.ph. Okay? So this is the schedule for grade levels, yung grades 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and 11. So makikita po natin yung blue Yung blue po, ibig sabihin yun yung on-site sila. The rest will be online. Okay, so kung ako po ay halimbawa grade 3 at I would belong to hybrid session number 1, ang pasok ko po, no, or papasok ko sa school ng Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday ng week 1 at week 3. Kung ako naman ay halimbawa grade 5 na nasa batch 2 naman ako, ang pasok ko ay Thursday and Friday for weeks 1, 2, and 3. Okay? So take note that all of these schedules are made in order for you to have at least 5 isolation days. No, on the last day that you came to school, there would be 5 isolation days, no, in accordance to the Center for Disease and Control Prevention, no. Doon po kami nagbase ilang isolation days. Actually, yun din po yung isa sa mga tanong namin, no, with the recent pronouncement of having 5 days. Paano na si isolation days, no? So, syempre yung mga health protocols. But anyway, we'll mention po, nakikita ko po doon sa mga questions currently na medyo maraming tanong po tungkol doon. We'll try to answer them one by one. But for the meantime, ito po yung magiging schedule niya. Now, if you there would be an email distribution which session will you be in. But more likely po kung kayo ay medyo maaga nag-enroll at kung hindi naman kayo halos nasabihan na puno na, more likely po hybrid session number 1 kayo. No? Certain levels lang po kasi yung merong session number 2. Okay, so next, this is now for even grade levels. Ibig sabihin po yun, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12. Ang pasok naman po natin ay weeks 2 and 4. No? Kung kayo ay hybrid session number 1 or batch 1, dun po ang titignan nyo ay yung red, no? Yung Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday ng week 2 at week 4. Meanwhile, kung kayo ay nasa hybrid session number 2, you will be having your on-site sessions from weeks 2 and 4. Or 2 to 4 rather. No, yung violet naman po ang titignan natin. Yun yung pasok natin. Okay, para lang po mas maging klaro dahil kasi po pati yung mga teachers natin meron ding odd and even scheme, no, para makater po din natin yung kanilang isolation day. So even the teachers, we have to consider them, no, in terms of their health also. Okay, so just in case po na magulo pa, just let us know po later on so that we would be able to explain it to you better. So ibig sabihin po pala, no, on August 17, since that is our first day of class, that is actually week number 3. No? So yung week number 3, ibig sabihin po ang papasok po noon ay yung odd grade levels. Okay, so online naman po yung other batch, no, yung even grade levels. Okay? And then take note of the ratio for hybrid learning. Ito po yung sinabi natin last time. Ito rin po yung susundin natin. No? Ibig sabihin po, for the early years, we'll have a hybrid learning for maximum of 12. Maximum of 12. And then grades 1 to 3 is 16. And then 4 to 12 is 20. No? So habang hindi pa po masyado nire-require yung face-to-face talaga, we'll keep it at that so that we could also observe minimum health protocols and social distancing na rin, no? Even inside the room. Okay, and then we'll still follow academic integrity, no, or implement the academic integrity system, yung ating pong honesty pledge system, yung ating pong mga outputs kasama pa rin yung honesty pledge system. We'll also be using certain online plagiarism checkers and originality reports to be more familiar or to practice rather intellectual property rights. Okay? Ang request ko lang po, no, lalong-lalo na po sa lower grade levels, for the parents to be models also of integrity. Kasi 'di ba, natututo sa atin yung bata if we are honest. If the parents are honest, the students will also grow up to be honest, no? If the parents are prayerful, the students will also be will learn, no, to be prayerful. So we request you to be models of integrity. Bakit ko po sinasabi yon? Kasi minsan sa kagustuhan po ng parents na makatulong sa bata, nakakalimutan natin na dapat maging independent sila. What do I mean by that? Minsan sobra-sobra na, ini-spoon feed na yung answers. No, let them also have developed, no, a sense of agency or independency. Okay? So, yun po, be models of integrity. Huwag nating sagutan yung mga worksheets nila, lalo na kapag mga online learners, di ba? Parang minsan hindi nasulat ng bata yung mga nasa worksheets. So, yung mga ganong scenario po, no? Hindi naman po ito dahil sinasabi natin na hindi tayo honest, but it's more of making the students more accountable for their learning. Okay? So, otherwise po, bibiruin ko lang po kayo, no? Otherwise po, dalawa pong tuition ang ibabayad ninyo. Isa po para sa inyo, isa po para sa student. No? Pero I hope you get the point. No? Kumbaga parang nag-aaral po yung bata, so hayaan po natin din, no, na matuto yung bata on his or her own. Okay, and then we also had established a policy on submission and expanded opportunity. For the past 2 years, very lenient po kami in terms of submission and expanded opportunity. This time around, we'll put a little more teeth and a little more parameter in terms of submission and availing the expanded opportunity because we do not like them to be abused. Kasi sayang po, maganda sana yung program for expanded opportunity. Kaya lang yung iba, medyo naaabuso siya. No? So sayang naman. Therefore, we had established currently this items. Number one, if a student is finding difficulty, the students or the teachers rather will let them attend in the coaching period or yung mentoring period po na alam natin dati. And then the teacher will give feedback and targeted assistance and then let them accomplish a certain form. Para saan po yung form? Para malaman natin kung ano yung agreement ni teacher at saka ni student. Halimbawa, kinoach na kita sa isang output, ano ngayon yung magiging response mo, no, to be accountable for your own learning. Okay? And then, paano naman po kapag hindi nakapag-submit ng output yung bata? So, the student and the parent will be informed via email. So, importante po, dear parents, that you check your emails. No? I know there on both sides, minsan merong difficulty. Say, for example, si parent email kay teacher, hindi kaagad nakasagot si teacher. At the same time, si teacher nag-email kay parent, hindi binabasa ni parent. No? So, make it a habit also that at least once a day, we were able to check our email and check on the status kasi baka mamaya ini-inform na po pala tayo ng teacher. And then the teacher will set a conference to give a feedback and targeted assistance to the student. This will then have an agreement between the two for a certain submission time. And then accomplish again the expanded opportunity so that it will be documented. And then the teacher will follow up on the said submission time. If the student was able to submit after the third not able to submit after the third follow-up, non-compliance will be declared. No? So, ibig sabihin po, kapag finalo up ng 3 beses, no, ni teacher pero hindi pa rin nagre-respond yung bata, ide-declare na siya as non-compliance. Ibig sabihin, 0 na yung grade. No? And then, what if naman po, after everything, no, within the quarter, finalo up na ni teacher, wala pa din. After the grading periods, ang mangyayari po, the student and the parent via email and phone call will be informed with the help of the class advisor. So inform po sila, no, via email and phone call. And then the teacher will give feedback again to the student kasama po yung targeted assistance. Pag sinabi po natin targeted assistance, this is a kind of feedback given to the student on how he or she can improve on his or her work. No? And then students will be given 2 weeks after the after the end of the release of grades to submit the incomplete or missing output. So bibigyan po siya ng 2 linggo para makapag-comply. Ngayon po, after having the expanded opportunity form, ifa-follow up po ulit siya ni teacher. Again, ide-declare siya na non-compliance kapag hindi po nakapag-submit within the 2-week allotment. Ayan. So, it will now create a certain balance, no, between accommodation and submission or yung mga deadlines. Kasi syempre, yung mga teachers po, may mga kanya-kanya din silang deadlines. Sila din po yung nasa stress, no? Kapag masyado ng ano pang tawag dito, masyado ng matagal o hindi nagpapasa din yung mga bata. So, and then in terms of our computer system unit, same as previous pa rin naman po, just in case that you do not know, this is the suggested computer unit during online learning. No? So, during online learning po yun. Later on po, baka matanong natin, lalo na sa homeroom, pwede po bang magdala ng gadget? Gagamitin ito for instruction? Pwede naman, no? As long as there is a certain form and a certain permission for that. Pero take note lang din po natin, no, na baka mamaya sobrang daming devices at gadgets na dala ng bata, hindi na siya practical. Okay? So we'll limit also the number of devices that a student can bring, no? Lalong-lalo na kung ito lang naman, for example, no, ito ay for communication purposes talaga, ito ay tino-turn over dapat sa teacher or sa advisor and will be retrieved after the end of the period or the class. Okay, and then we have the software program, same as before naman po, para yan po yung mga minimum programs that the students will be using. Although by experience po, no, even on the lower levels, talagang mas gumagamit na sila ng ibang platforms. So nag-explore din po talaga sila. And then this is the minimum requirement for the learning management system or for Genio. Okay, and then may I present to you also the learning materials per grade level. Medyo babagalan ko din po dito, no? Ipe-present ko lang po ito para ma-screenshot po natin. Although, we will also be giving copies, no, of this, maski po yung presentation ko, in the SPCM student and parent email. So that's for the pre-kinder. Okay, and then this is for the kindergarten. Okay, and then for grade 1. Okay, and for grade 2. Next is for grade 3. Grade 4. Grade 5. Grade 6. In grade 7, grade 8, grade 9, grade 10, grade 11, and grade 12. Okay, so again po, the learning materials will be forwarded into your child's and parents' email. So just in case po hindi nyo nakuha, ibibigay po namin yon. No? So thank you po. Next is what are the learning protocols that we had established? No? First, the preference no, for the vaccinated learners. Sabi nga po natin, mas at risk yung bata kung hindi siya ipapabakuna. Lalong-lalo na kung nandun siya sa mga kaklase niya, no, nakakasalamuhan niya yung kaklase niya at hindi siya vaccinated, mas delikado para dun sa bata. So therefore, we encourage really everyone to have their vaccination. And then temperature monitoring and health declaration form for all, no, even if you are a teacher, an employee, a parent. So nagkakaroon po ng health declaration and contact tracing. And then hand washing upon entrance. Isa po yan sa magiging protocols ng learners, no, and even the employees later on na to have to hand wash no upon entrance. And then of course yung face mask and vaccination card presentation. Ipe-present po yung vaccination card. Sa students po, on the first day lang po siya ipe-present, no? And then we have the presentation of ID. Kasama po yun. I hope that for safety and security also. And then designated entrance and exit points. So currently po, ang magiging entrance natin ay ang OLC at ang San Juan Gate. No? And then we have the exit for the M80. Ibig sabihin po yung tapat ng katabi ng OLC building, and the Marimisio Gate. Ibig sabihin po yung nasa tapat po ng simbahan or yung katabi ng simbahan na gate. That's for the exit points. Part din po kasi ng protocols na pinapa-establish ng DepEd is to have those fixed points para define po alin yung entrance, alin yung exit, para yung traffic flow din no maayos. And then I think na-mention ko na po yan. Sorry for the wrong spelling. Next is CO2 monitoring. No? So we had bought also devices to monitor the CO2 so that we would be able to check if the air quality is good. No? Kasi kapag mataas yung levels ng CO2, ibig sabihin we are sharing air. No? Alam naman po natin that COVID currently is considered as airborne. No? So yun po, check natin yon. And then hallway ground markers and signages. And then later on po may mga pictures kami kung ano na po yung na prepare namin. And then what is the classroom setup no for online distance learning? So virtual classes will still be held using the Google Meet conference. Google conference links are included in the Google Calendar of every SPCM student account. So we will still be using the Google for Education Workspace Plus. Ibig sabihin po may subscription talaga tayo doon so that we would be able to utilize really yung ating pong for communication, yung ating pong mga information dissemination. And then what about the hybrid setup no, for hybrid learning? Ito naman po ang mangyayari sa kanya. Meron po tayong classroom setup na kung saan may monitor or may tatlo pong monitor, no? One for the projection in the hybrid, two is the teacher device, three is for the online learners. So makikita po nila kung ano yung itsura, no, yung mga faces rather ng online learners, and then yung hybrid learners yung online makikita po nila yung hybrid po makikita nila yung online, no? And they would also be able to interact later on. And then so yan po yung mga pinrepare naming facilities, no? Just an overview of this. So later on po makikita natin yung mga picture ng actual na devices and facilities po, or equipment rather, na pinurchase or prepare po ng St. Paul Makati. So currently these are the forms for establishing a contact tracing system in school. So they are available po also via QR code. So just in case po talagang gusto natin talagang walang contact or contactless, we could also have the health declaration form, no? For the online learners, sorry po, sa hybrid learners, ibibigay din po namin yung copies ng contact tracing form, so that if you would like to have the contact tracing, no, habang nasa biyahe kayo papasok, no, para less yung hassle papunta ng rooms natin, we will also be giving you that one. And then these are some of the preparations for the HEAL program Beyond Borders. Like we already have posting of signages and markers in the different offices and classrooms. Presence also, no, of these markers along the corridors, pathways, classrooms, laboratories, yan. And also we were able to establish an isolation room, no, and satellite clinic to better improve our health services and to be used as a triage for possible cases. So ibig sabihin po, upon temperature monitoring, kung halimbawa po may symptoms, didiretso po sila sa isolation room, no? And then these are also equipped with certain PPEs, no, yung mga other requirements for monitoring and isolation. And then in the classrooms, physically distance po yung chairs. No? We also had set up a disinfection area wherein pwede po tayong mag-disinfect yung sa alcohol pump. And then there is a sterilization box, no, placed strategically along the corridors para naman po yan sa mga student submission is sterilize gamit po ang UVC light. And then each classroom has its own web camera and another monitor, again, for the online learners. There's also an audio mixer and a microphone setup, no? And then a HEPA filter po. Kasi ang gagawin po natin, meron pong naka-on po yung aircon, no? May HEPA filter po, and then there is also one door and one window open. So this para po hindi kulob po yung air, no? So there's still an air ventilation or air circulation rather. Okay, so ito po yung parang nung nag-simulate yung itsura po ng anong mangyayari, mapapansin natin doon sa TV po, no, may mga online learners tapos may hybrid learners. At saka naka-mic po yung teacher kasi para mas maintindihan po sila ng students. Dahil naka-mask, medyo muffled yung voice, hindi po masyado kailangan mag-exert ng effort ni teacher. Okay, eto naman po. So we'll go to the exciting part. So sabi nga po, no, marami pong mga questions ngayon regarding this one. Ikakwento ko lang po muna, no? And then I'll mention po ano naman po yung mga schools action. Okay? So una po, last July 11, so 2 weeks ago lang po talaga, nag-release po ang DepEd on DepEd Order 34. That requires, no, basically the private and the public schools to have to transition already to an in-person classes. And then the schools are given 3 options. You have 5 days in-person class, a blended learning modality, and a full distance learning. So yung blended learning modality po nila ay lahat po ng bata, 3 days and then 2 days. Sa atin po kasi hybrid kasi kasabay niya yung full distance learning. Then there was a certain issue, no, issuance of a certain date that it is only until October 31. And then ang sabi po doon sa DepEd memo na yon, that starting November 2, all private and public schools shall transition already for 5 days in-person class. Okay, so yun po yung DepEd memo, no? Ayan. However, when reading, no, there are a lot of reactions, no, kagaya po ng mga ibang reactions ngayon ng parents, no. There are a lot of reactions coming from the private school. Kasi syempre, tayo, we thought of gradual pa lang dapat, hindi pa kaagad full face to face. Upon reading po the DepEd memo, it would seem na medyo hindi ata, no, na consider masyado yung plight or yung situation ng private schools. Bakit po? No, bakit? Kasi pag tinignan po natin itong data, no, mapapansin po natin the red circle, no, ang major modality po ng public school is for print, no, or modular learning. So doon po talaga nag-resort yung majority ng public schools. Meanwhile, on the private schools, mapapansin nyo po 3 circles yan, no? Major circle is yung online module. Ibig sabihin, online learning. Next is print module, and then blended learning. What does that mean? The private schools was able to deliver more alternative ways, no? I'm not so sure kung dahil ba mas may budget, pero I suppose not kasi mas malaki ang budget ng public schools. But probably it's more of yung private school po kasi mas creative, no? Mas innovative sila in that sense. At syempre, papagmayabang ko na lang din po, mas supportive yung parents, di ba? Ngayon po, ang ibig po sabihin nito, it would seem that somehow po, no, the DO was not considering much, no, of the plight of the private schools. Kasi po, yung private schools, madami sa atin, no, isasama na po natin yung St. Paul Makati, nag-invest na, no, nag-invest na sa technology, nag-invest na sa iba't ibang facilities to deliver online learning modality. Okay? This is also a graph, no? For the public schools, mapapansin natin yung difference. Kaya siguro at that time nung ginawa yung memo, mas nako-consider si public schools. Okay? And then at pag tinignan naman po natin, ito naman yung sa private schools, mapapansin natin talagang online. Ginagamit natin, in-integrate na natin yung technology natin, no, sa ating curriculum. So ano pong nangyari? Ito na ngayon yung mga concerns natin. Number 1 is the health situation of the learners and their families. Ibig sabihin, kahit na sinabi na vaccinated na at bumalik na lahat sa face-to-face, may mga situations na hindi kinonsider, like may mga sakit yung relatives, no, mismong yung bata may sakit, very in danger siya, no, in terms of the virus, lalo na 'di ba may bagong yung BA.5 po ba yon na variant, 'di ba? Currently may parang surge na nangyayari. So, and then other health situations also arises. And then there are also certain Polinian families, no, living too far from SPCM. They would like to be Polinians, no, kahit anong mangyari. Yun nga lang, talagang dahil sa pandemic, napauwi sila, pero gusto pa rin nilang maging Polinians ng St. Paul Makati. And then the next is the school preparation and investment to technology. Sabi ko nga, pati ang parents nag-invest na sa technology, bakit hindi natin i-utilize? Next is readiness of stakeholders. No? Hindi pa talaga ready in full blast. No? Maaaring yung iba gradual, yung iba full blast ready. Pero not all. Okay? And then the current health situation, pabago-bago po, no? Yung health crisis natin. So may days or may months na okay, may months na hindi. So now, please take note, no? We are supportive of the gradual transition for face-to-face. Ibig sabihin, we adhere all still to the DepEd order, but we will be considering the following. No? So there's a certain condition. While we support the gradual transition to face-to-face, we also have to consider the following. Number one, observance of established health protocols. Um, Ibig sabihin po, titignan pa rin natin paano natin gagawin sa school kasi before nasa 40, 30 to 40 ang nasa isang classroom, magkakatabi sila. How can you observe now health protocols? Same thing with the isolation periods of both teachers and learners, no? Wellness of the Polinian families, paano 'yan kapag may nakahawa sila, no? But one thing that I would like to say, no, in terms of the different researches abroad and here, yung mga nag-pilot schools po ng face-to-face, so far, no, so far, consistent yung data na hindi naman yung schools ang spreaders, no, yung spreaders of the virus. Bakit po? No, kasi sa school or within the school, mas masunurin yung bata, no? Ano pong ibig sabihin nun? Yung mas maraming rules sa isang school, so mas limited yung galaw ng bata. Mas na-establish ni school yung different rules and regulations inside the classroom and within the vicinity of the school rather than outside. Ibig sabihin, if there might be certain surges, it's not the school's fault. No? Medyo consistent naman po yung foreign and local literature doon. But then again, no, hindi naman natin sinasabi na hindi na po talaga magkakaroon ng COVID or hindi na ma-expose sila. But yun lang po ang sinasabi namin, hindi naman po sila yung spreader. Okay? And then readiness and preferences of stakeholders, no? Like the ones I am seeing here currently in the Mentimeter, readiness and preferences hindi pa rin talaga ready. And then utilization also of the school's resources and technology investment. So sabi ko nga po, we need to progress, not regress. Kasi parang it would seem na yung face-to-face po na full blast agad disregards already or disregards all technology that we had invested on. Diba? So sayang naman. And then napatunayan din naman natin na for the past 2 years na natututo sila despite the fact na online, di ba? So I'm pretty sure na we would be able to come up with certain creative ways, no, on how to deal with it. And then utilization of families technology investments. So kayo po yung investments nyo and the current health situation. So therefore po ang mangyayari ganito po, no, para maging malinaw din po ang lahat at medyo kalmado din po yung mga puso natin at kalooban natin, by August 17, no, to October 31, will follow the same. Okay, will follow the same learning modalities, the hybrid and the online distance learning. Okay, paano naman po mangyayari November onwards, no? So this is the proposed learning modality for November 2 onwards. What does that mean? Ang gusto po sana naming mangyari at ang nilalabi po namin currently or ang ginagawa namin for the learning continuity plan or program is this. The hybrid may transition to face-to-face learning modality. However, it is still subjected to the DepEd pronouncements. Ibig sabihin po, by August, September, October, marami pa pong mangyayari. No? Maging at ease lang po tayo ng kaunti kasi the school is also doing different ways on how to dialogue with the DepEd, no? Hindi lang po kami yung school na ganoon. Marami pong iba ding mga school. At ang invitation ko po sa inyo is to open also avenues for dialogue, no? Kung ano po yung platforms natin, no? So engage also in conversations. I-open natin yung discussion para hindi po siya sarado agad na full face-to-face agad. Okay? So next is we would like also still, no, the online distance learning to be available for all especially for those who are health compromised, no, location wise. um Also yung mga may concern sa sa ibang situation or sa health, no, or family situation, o kaya naman po talagang hindi kaya or hindi pa ready yung ating online, yung ating face to face. But take note, sorry, dalawang asterisk po pala yun, no? It will be upon DepEd's approval, no. What I would like to say at this point, we are currently preparing plans, no. May plan A tayo. Ito po yung plan A natin. Kung hindi po tayo approve, wag po kayong mag-alala, may plan B and C, no. So still we would be um, implementing, no, itong mga modalities na to in whatever way we can. Okay, so that's what I could say right now, no. At least po para formality, iintayin natin base dun sa proposal. Pag nag-approve po sila, then we'll continue to implement, no. Baka po kasi yung mga online distance learners ay nagwo-worry po sa ngayon, lalong-lalo na po, no. Minsan yung iba parang iniisip na lang na mag-homeschool na lang kasi hindi pa nila feel na hindi pa safe, no, baka i-compel natin sila. Hindi naman po, no. So hindi naman po namin kayo basta-basta i-compel lang ganoon. Take note lang din po para dun sa mga naghahanap ng homeschooling. Currently po dapat alam ninyo kung approved po ba or recognized by DepEd yung kanilang homeschool program. Kasi there are several schools that I know that are offering this kind of program without DepEd's approval. So yun lang po. Para lang din po safe tayo sa lahat. Kasi pag nagganon po tayo or nag-enroll po tayo sa mga ganong schools na hindi pa approved, kawawa din po tayo, no? So make sure lang po that there is a proper approval. Kaya po sinasabi ko po sa inyo, this is a proposed learning program because we are also waiting for DepEd's approval. So currently, ano po yung action plans na ginagawa ng school natin? So number 1 is the submission of the learning continuity plan to reflect the proposed learning modality. So gumagawa po tayo ng continuity plan, no, to reflect those kinds of learning modalities. Yung na-mention ko po kanina, para tuloy yung online, no, and then the hybrid will now transition paunti-unti po face-to-face. And then there is an active involvement in the dialogue with the DepEd through different affiliations, no, on how to best deliver 21st century learning. Ako po personally, ako ay isa sa mga board of directors ng Association of Private Schools. We are currently doing our surveys so that we would be able to write DepEd as well, no. I think also other affiliations like the CEAP, like the COCOPEA, other private institutions are also doing the same. So again, no, as parents, ang request ko lang din po sana is to open the conversation to others, no, para alam nyo na po, mas maraming nag-uusap about doon, mas magagawa ng paraan. Okay? So, and then assertion also of the regulation status of the PASCO level, accredited level 2. Since we are a PASCO school, we might assert, no, later on to be deregulated on this kind of program so that we would be able to implement the kind of program that we want to. Okay? And then continuous preparation still for hybrid classroom. Whatever happens, we would still be continuing our preparations for hybrid and online classrooms, and then shifting learning modalities in various situations. Ibig sabihin, katulad po nun, halimbawa may umulan, bumagyo, nagkaroon ng alert level 3, ready po dapat si school, no, to shift on the online learning, no, or on different learning modalities. Okay? So, huwag po kayo mag-alala. Rest assured na we'll take care of you. No, of course, being partners also with the institution helps us also think of innovative ways on how to take care of you. Okay? So, what do we expect then? Okay? So we expect na if ever man po no, mangyari po yung full face-to-face at the same time yung online learning, ang mangyayari po, there might be certain changes in the class schedule. So instead of na 9:30, baka humaba po yan. Hindi lang po natin define pa kung ano, but we are preparing for that in the event na merong bagong pronouncement si DepEd. Okay? Kaya lang hindi po namin masabi sa inyo na ito na siya kasi depende rin po sa class hours na sasabihin ni DepEd. And then adjustment in the classroom setup and class size. So pag classroom setup po, ibig sabihin yung facilities and equipment na nakita nyo kanina and in terms of class size. Although what I can say is that somehow no titingnan natin na hindi pa rin ganoon na magkakatabi yung mga bata no. Titingnan po natin how we could work around no in terms of the class schedule kasi hindi naman po dinefine ni DepEd no yung pinaka class schedule talaga nasa sa atin pa rin po yun. So there might be certain changes in terms of the schedule so that we could accommodate also a manageable number of class size. Okay? And then observance of minimum health protocols still continuous pa rin po yun. And then the last, syempre alam ko naman po na concern nyo ito, yung adjustment on the tuition fee. So ibig sabihin po, kung talagang magiging online or mag-face-to-face na po yung online, there might be changes in the adjustments of the tuition fee. Yung hybrid po, kung mag-full face-to-face na sila, may adjustments po yun, no? In terms of the ano po yun, in terms of the tuition fee. Okay? So now let us hear from Sister Urban Mago, SPC, our finance officer, on the adjustment of the fee. So they were able to compute already the changes or yung ano po yung possible difference ng full face-to-face in the event po na i-require, no? Or in the event na ano pang tawag dito, mag face-to-face na po yung bata. So from hybrid to face-to-face and then online to face-to-face. No? So syempre po, i-expect natin si online, medyo mas malaki yung idadagdag niya kasi medyo papantay muna siya sa hybrid at tsaka ngayon mag-a-adjust sa face-to-face. Okay? So let us listen to Sister Urban. Let me just check my settings. Okay, sandali lang po ha. Let me stop sharing for a while. And let me configure lang po yung sa aking, on my end po. Baka hindi po siya nag-load kaagad. Okay, let me share my screen to you again. Okay, so i-play ko lang po ulit no para oops, sorry. And then after this po, I will answer already some of the questions indicated here para mas makita po natin. By the way, ayan, since nakita nyo naman na po, opening of classes will be on October 17.
A blessed morning, dear parents and guardians. Thank you, dear parents and guardians, for your constancy in giving support and cooperation, for choosing us to be your partners and trusting us in the management of your investments for the education of your children, for helping us in the fulfillment of our school's vision mission, for staying with us amidst this challenging time and for even helping us cope with the negative impact of the pandemic. In particular, thank you so much for the 200 pesos monthly contribution which you pledged to help our employees survive the increasing cost of living due to the present condition of our time. Like all other schools, we have been greatly affected by this pandemic. Like, for instance, our budget for operating expenses has been very limited because the other school fees were either reduced, suspended, or dropped. It is for this that we ask for your continued understanding and unwavering support, especially in the event that the Department of Education pushes through the opening of face-to-face classes in November. In this case, the school fees
We are sorry, we are experiencing fluctuations.
for both online and hybrid modality shall be adjusted accordingly in consideration of the following: additional manpower, facilities, materials and supplies, additional budget for power, light and water, and others. The adjustment to be made will be 70% of the computed difference between one modality to another. To be more specific or clear, may I now present to you the projected adjustment due to the transition to full face-to-face.
Okay po. I will be pausing the video so that you could screenshot, no, just in case that you want to. Take note po on this slide. It would more likely be that there are still suspended, reduced, and dropped fees, no, from the original tuition fee for face-to-face. So yun po yung mga kinonsider. Okay, and this time, this is the variance. This is the difference for the face-to-face and hybrid. No? So mapapansin po natin, merong difference po yung face-to-face at saka yung hybrid ranging about 6,000. So ang nangyari po, yung 10 months, which is the 100%, yun po yung kung buong taon magfe-face-to-face. Since on a maximum, November lang po magsa-start. So ibig sabihin meron na po tayong 3 months, August, September, and October. So yung 70% po noon or yung 7 months lang po, no, yung madadagdag or idadagdag or i-adjust po sa tuition fee, no, if from hybrid to face-to-face. Okay, and then we'll have also the variance for face-to-face and online. Okay, so just in case po that you still cannot see, do not worry po. Just email po yung ating cashier at spcmakati.edu.ph for the inquiries. Okay, and then this one naman po is the difference, no, for hybrid and online. So just in case po na mag-shift po, gusto nyo pong mag-shift yung bata sa hybrid and online. Okay, so I think to deliver you my last slide before I answer some of the questions. Take note po, napapansin natin we are in a VUCA world, no? Yung VUCA po means yung nasa left side, volatility, and the world is volatile, it's uncertain, it's very complex right now, and it's very ambiguous. But despite the fact that we are now in a VUCA world, no, the school has to have its vision, no, in order for us to survive and thrive in the VUCA world. The school must be able to have a vision, no, and then there must be an understanding on these uncertainties, and we should be clear on our goals so that even if regardless the complexity on this situation, we must be clear on our goals to deliver Polonian education in whatever way we can. And the last is to be agile, no? To be agile in terms of these ambiguous situations. So ibig sabihin po yung mga pine-prepare po natin, these are our responses in a VUCA world. So hopefully the HEAL program Beyond Borders was able to give you a clear vision, an understanding, clarity, and agility on our responses. So thank you very much po. That ends my presentation. May I just answer some of the questions given to or posted on the Mentimeter. Although mamaya po magkakaroon pa ng Q&A para lang po mas mabilis yung Q&A mamaya para mabawasan na po, no? Okay, is SPCM part of the private schools appealing to consider the mandatory 5-day in-person classes? Yes, we are a part of that. As I think as mentioned also, based on our affiliations, we also try to reach out to other ways, no, to DepEd. And then conducted a dialogue with parents, not necessarily a formal dialogue po with parents, but I was able to talk with many parents already, asking for their reactions, asking for their opinions regarding the DepEd memo. So kaya po namin sinet up yung ganong proposed learning modalities, no, for the next few months. And then will there be okay, I think Sister Socorro later on can answer this one po yung sa confirmation, no? Contingency plan with students who have respiratory and are COVID positive, no, once face-to-face classes are ongoing. We had set up an isolation, no, just in case po talaga na meron tayong symptoms, diretso po agad yon sa isolation room so that they would be able, regardless kung positive or possible case pa lang siya, diretso po sila lahat, no, doon sa isolation room. And then, magshi-shift po yung learning modality ng bata sa online learning. So automatic po yun. Kahit na hybrid po sila at biglang nagkaroon ng possible case or symptoms rather, automatic po magshi-shift po yung kanilang learning into online learning. Okay? Will SPCM have a curriculum for online to cater students who move to a different location? I think yun po, no, yung you can have. I think what the parameters in the online distance learning would be for those who are immunocompromised, for those outside the country or far, no, from Makati. And then yung mga relatives po, and then syempre po kapag hindi talaga ready yung families. Okay? What is the action of the school if someone gets positive with COVID? So say for example, wag naman po sana, no? One gets exposed or probably be positive for COVID or for other health situations. Ang mangyayari po, lahat po nung lahat po nung close contacts, say for example, one student, yung buong klase po mag-shift po muna, no, sa online distance learning and would observe isolation days. Kapag depende din po kung symptomatic or asymptomatic yung case, depende po yon sa number of days, if it's 5 days or 10 days. But definitely, mag-shift po lagi sa online distance learning kung merong exposure or merong positive case. No? Oops. Next question ay, yan, pumapasok po kasi yung ibang questions. Okay, some of the questions po medyo repetitive regarding dun sa face-to-face. So, I'll not answer anymore. So, nasabi ko naman po yung plan ng school that we would be really proposing on the DepEd. We'll just are waiting for the DepEd's decision about this one. But we are kind of asserting also our deregulation status, no, for PASCO. Okay? Wala naman pong problema if you would be exerting or rather shifting from online to face-to-face. Say for example, by November, you would really like to have face-to-face. Wala pong problema, just make the necessary changes lang po and adjustments. No? Okay, quarterly awarding. Okay, so I think na-mention ko din po kanina yung awards for academic excellence will be awarded or will be reintroduced, no, quarterly. Okay, how many students per class and section? For hybrid learning, maximum of 20 po yun. But for face-to-face po, if ever that we will be having the face-to-face na, depende pa rin po muna sa magiging pronouncement ni DepEd. Though I would have to say na medyo kokontian po talaga. Magkakaroon po ng distance yung mga bata, no, sa school, rather sa classroom. Okay. My child has already enrolled and chose hybrid. However, COVID cases has gone up again. Can we still change to online instead before classes start? Please inform po our registrar's office so that you could make the necessary changes as well as the cashier po kasi syempre may adjustment po yun sa fees, no? Now, kung kayo naman po ay hybrid, ang suggestion ko po, you may stay po in that kind of modality. Just attend classes online kasi kahit po hybrid classes, meron pa rin po kayong mga links, no, ng online classes. Ibig sabihin, you could still attend, no, online classes even if you are set for hybrid. So yun po yung kagandahan, mas may option po yung bata na pwede po sila mag-online kaagad. No? Kasi po pag online, hindi sila kaagad makakapasok for hybrid. Pero yung hybrid, madali pong mag-shift ng online. Okay? So, okay. Next is, can the student be given a Wi-Fi access po for communication purposes? This depends po on a case-to-case basis. Siguro po, masasuggest ko po dun sa parent is kausapin na lang po muna yung class advisor kasi depende po ito. No? Currently, our Wi-Fi only caters to the teachers. Depende po kung ano siguro yung situation. So, maybe at that particular point, if it is for communication purposes, i-evaluate po yan ng homeroom team leader natin. Okay? And then, is it possible for the school to utilize Google Hangout, okay, instead of FB Messenger? Ako po, I would agree to that. We'll just have to train also the teachers how to communicate using that one. But thank you po for the suggestion. I also I also prefer it that way, so para hindi rin po yung personal accounts ni teacher sorry po, personal accounts ni teacher po yung affected. Okay po. Next po is bakit po face-to-face, no, instead of hybrid by November? We would also like to somehow adhere naman din po to the DepEd order. Okay, but in terms of the learning continuity plan, there are several several programs that is being proposed. No, hopefully po one of those is continue hybrid to hybrid. Pero just in case lang po talaga na ni-require ni DepEd, medyo hinahanda lang po kayo, no, na baka mag face-to-face po talaga si hybrid para lang din po to address also yung kanilang concern on implementing the hybrid, rather the face-to-face. Okay. All right. Regarding the diaries po, ayan, for correspondences, I think doon po sa list of materials, meron po nakalagay doon homeroom notebook. I think yun po yung magiging parang diary nila this time. We cannot have the diary at this point for all kasi po yung ibang online learners ay nasa very online po, no? And also to suspend also some of the fees. Kaya po medyo nag-resort muna sa homeroom notebook. So at least mas free po kayo kung anong klaseng notebook po yun. Again po dun sa may nagtanong po, no, plan change for students under full online, they will be continuing to have the full online as proposed in our learning continuity plan. So hopefully po samahan niyo po kami magdasal na there would be changes still, no, in the implementation, okay, for face-to-face. Next is list of materials. Regarding po the list of materials, some of them are not available po in the boutique kasi there has been also limited purchase po for our boutique kasi medyo nagtipid din po kami in terms of our resources para hindi rin naman po masayang yung resources. So in case lang po that there are materials you might like to inquire in the boutique kung ano po yung available at ano yung hindi, just email po the boutique at spcmakati.edu.ph. Okay? So I guess that's it po. Hopefully po yung ibang questions, just keep them coming. We'll answer po later. So thank you very much po. I am already extended my time. So thank you very much po.
Thank you, Mr. Samonte. Your sharing will frame our minds and set our perspective this school year. Truly embracing the next normal requires a lot of knowledge and preparation to be actually ready. But we are beyond grateful for giving us comprehensive updates on the HEAL program, learning modalities, resources, as well as the different policies. Basically, everything that we need to know to be ready for this school year. Unceasingly, our parents are given the assurance that our school is completely prepared to the next normal. And we are continuously doing action plans to respond to possible scenarios in the future. Likewise, we would like to thank Sister Urban for giving us a clearer picture of the school finances and schedule of fees to all grade levels. At this juncture, we would like to present the other programs of the school which emphasize equity, academic excellence, reflective practice, curriculum integration, and advocacy. I would like to call upon Ms. Maria Cristina Del Cano, our instructional services in charge.
Good afternoon and peace be with you, everyone. Thank you for spending this day with us and well extending a little bit of your time for our orientation. So I'll make this quick because these this would be there would be a lot of things here that you're familiar with. Okay, but there are things that we would like to be highlighting as well. So we begin with a reorientation of our homeroom program. Now, for this school year, um, before I get to the framework for this school year, let us just go to one of the paragraphs in the student handbook, which describes the RHGP or the Revitalized Homeroom Guidance Program. I'd like to highlight the words where the students or pupils or students can feel relaxed while on a journey towards self-awareness, self-acceptance, and then ultimately self-actualization. Now, as an advisor for for about a decade, I suppose, it's during homeroom time where the students somehow I wouldn't say forgo the rules. They are a little bit more relaxed. No, pag kasama po nila advisor or during homeroom, mas kalmado po sila or and all that. And that's why we are trying to empower our students as well through our homeroom program. Now, this school year, we are adapting this framework or from this school year forward. Um, Let me just draw your attention to to certain elements in the framework, beginning with the very center of it, which is the SPCEM's outcomes-based education framework for basic education. Now, if you've been in SPCM for the past years, you are quite familiar, I know, dear parents and guardians, with OBE. With the statements that we have our students say, with the statements that we also recite during assemblies, and so at the very heart of our RHGP program would be the framework of this of SPCEM for outcomes-based education for the basic ed. And then another important detail there would be the social emotional learning competencies or the SELs. Basically, the when building this framework, no, there was an alignment seen between the between the SELs and the life performance outcomes, as you can see in the framework. Also, on the framework underneath it would be um three theories of human development, mainly our RHGP framework anchors on Kohlberg's moral development theory, Erickson's psychosocial development theory, and Borba's empathy building skills supplements these theories. Okay. Now, let's just have a quick rundown on some important rules and policies. Uh, okay. Now, regardless of the modality, students are expected to report on time. So, if they fail to attend the morning rites, they will be tardy for the first period. And then, if they are given a grace period of 5 minutes, just in case they have certain hassles with the connection, and for those who will be coming to school, yung traffic po and all that, they are given a bit of a grace period. Now, if students no definitely all of them will be experiencing the online modality, And if they miss 1 to 2 subjects in a day, they will be marked cutting classes. So that is something that we have been doing for the past years. However, if a student fails to attend 3 classes or subjects for the day, they will be marked as absent. Now, how will they be excused? Because sometimes there can be good reasons for their absence. I think foremost is the Wi-Fi and internet connection problems. Now, again, speaking as an advisor for the past years, this is it's tough to collect communication from parents regarding internet connection problems, especially when the students are already in the older levels. Like we rarely receive letters, no, from the parents, and we'd like to emphasize this more than ever because we want to keep we want to keep close communication with you, especially now that we are transitioning to to another phase of the new normal. So just take note po that parents should be writing an excuse letter addressed to the principal through the advisor regarding the connectivity issues, and then provide a screenshot or probably a photo of probably their Wi-Fi not working and all that. Okay. Now, if students get disconnected for 5 to 15 minutes, as long as they come back to class, they are still excused. Po. And then if a student is sick or injured, please take note that parents are expected to inform the principal through the advisor through a letter. And then in case of a long absence due to sickness, parents are expected to communicate. Now again, speaking as an advisor, sometimes we communicate with the parents. If I mean, what I'm trying to say is sometimes a student gets absent for so long and we don't get notifications from the parents. That's stressful on your end and our end as well. So let us please be let us let us please be more responsible in communicating with the teachers po, no, so that we can what do you call this, so we can be able to address certain things that needs to be addressed. Okay. And then if there are certain emergency cases, for instance, usually emergency cases are a relative gets injured or someone in the family is rushed to the hospital. Of course, this happens, though we don't like it. They are excused in such circumstances. And again, should anyone in the family pass away, students are also excused. Just remember po that we are expecting a proper communication po. And by proper communication, we mean a letter or an actual email po, not just through text or messenger. Now, reminder on school uniforms, lalo na po napapasok na sila or for a lot of them will be coming to school na. Okay? So, I know our children have been wearing these, so let's just have a quick rundown on what they're supposed to wear. So, for the boys, it's a white polo teteron polo shirt with patch, no slit at the back. This is for early years to grade 10. And a white Santana polo barong with SPCM pin for the senior high school. And then they're expected to wear a plain white sando or probably a plain white shirt that should be tucked. And then for the shorts, we have khaki shorts for early years to grade 2, khaki pants for grades 3 to 6, dark blue pants, slacks for the junior high school, and black pants, slacks for the senior high school. Then we have the white socks for early years to grade 6, and then plain black socks for 7 to 12. Then, of course, they are supposed to be wearing shoes now, and it must be clean and polished. As for the girls, so we have for the blouse, we have a white blouse with a navy collar from grade early years to grade 10, short sleeved white teteron blouse for the senior high school, a plain white sando or white chemise for the girls undershirts. And then a checker diamond shaped necktie for the early years, a bow tie for the grade school, a necktie for the junior high school, and a black necktie with the SPCM pin for the senior high school. And then for the skirt, well, all of them are checkered. Okay. Um, Basically, it must be 2 inches below the knee for the early years of grade 10. And the black checkered front pleated skirt must be 2 inches below the knee for the senior high school. For the girls, they are expected to wear plain white socks with no ruffles and ankle socks. No, they're not allowed to wear ankle socks. Skin tone or blackfoot socks for the senior high school. And then for early years to grade 10, they are supposed to wear black flat heel leather shoes and black leather shoes with 2-inch heels for the senior high school. And then for the grooming, boys must be neat looking, presentable. Wearing of earrings is not allowed. Fingernails must be cut short. For the girls, long hair must be tied. Bangs should not reach the eyebrows. Fingernails must be short and clean. No dangling multiple earrings. Hair accessories must be simple. Of course, may I just also remind those the parents whose children have colored hair. This is frequent mostly in the high school. We are hoping that by August their hair is dyed back to black. And then just some few netiquette for online class. I've summarized it to six ideas. Now, no, not six, seven. Okay, first is to focus. Avoid students and pupils are to avoid all forms of distraction. Meaning parents, let us not give them errands when they are at home. Okay, so they are supposed to avoid interactions and distractions via technology and social media because by experience, some of our students say that they are getting disconnected, but they are caught playing online games. So let's as parents and guardians, let us also please monitor them on this aspect. And then be respectful. Be respectful means we are courteous, we say please and thank you, and also this means respecting time, meaning students and pupils are supposed to come on time to classes and are expected to respect the deadlines as well. And respect also means due respect to one's body, meaning there has to be proper time for rest and work. Now, stay truthful. This means that we are supposed to have zero tolerance against fake news and disinformation, especially now that we are facing a lot of them in an online setup, and especially now that information is too much, it's too difficult to filter. So staying truthful also means being honest. So, I believe it has been mentioned also we have the honesty pledge in our assessments, no, and students are supposed to tell the truth. Pupils and students are supposed to tell the truth all the time, even if inconvenient. And then keep the space safe. It means that we have zero tolerance for any form of cyberbullying. And should any instance like this occur, we would appreciate it if we will be informed at once. Now, participate fully. Pupils and students are expected to recite when they are called upon, to submit their tasks on time, to turn on their cameras even. Actually, under participation, we have turning the camera and using the virtual background. No? When we are doing this, we are also able to, students are also able to participate fully. Now, just a couple of announcements. First is the student handbook. Now, currently, we are working on revising the student's handbook because it's long overdue. The last one we had was in 2016. So, we are in the process of revising the student handbook, and you will be informed po, dear parents, if there are copies available already. Now, for the bringing of gadgets, this has been mentioned earlier as well. We will be releasing a form regarding the responsible use of electronic devices, a student parent agreement form for those who will be bringing gadgets for face-to-face classes. Okay, remember they're not gonna bring gadgets just so they have something to do during their break. Ganun pa. And then we will be requiring a fetcher's ID for those that will be for an individual who will be fetching students and pupils, and then instructions will be sent to the emails to the official emails once they are finalized. Now, just a bit of a rundown of our student affairs orientation. This year, we are following or we will be implementing the Developing Effective and Empowered Polinians or the DEEP program. Now, a quick look at the rationale. This program aims to expand the horizon of Palenians in the new normal, and the Office of the Student Affairs would provide various extra and co-curricular programs and activities that will contribute to the development and support of the school's objectives. So let's just have a quick rundown. For the co-curricular activities, examples of those would be the thematic activities, the lead program, the one that we had in certain Wednesdays of the month last year, and then the student publication, on-site and online off-campus seminars and webinars. And then we will also be joining now on and off campus subject based competitions. And then for the clubs and organizations, we will still have the gift program or the giftedness instruction for talent development program, which is a program to develop, hone, and recognize and utilize the talents and multiple intelligences of Polinians while instilling in them the skill to manage time wisely and prioritize the activities and intelligence intelligently and live a balanced life. So we still have academic clubs, social religious clubs, social civic clubs, visual and practical arts clubs, and performance arts clubs. Now, I suppose we will be giving a list of the final list of these clubs in the once the school year begins. Then we still have the student government bodies, the SPG and the SSC, the Girl Scout and the Boy Scouts of the Philippines, Musica Polinos, and the Sword. And then we will still have the leadership development program, which is the continuation of the student government programs and activities. LeadCon or the leadership conferences that are usually for class officers, but in the past months, no, they also invited other students to join. And then there will also be a congress for the class officers, and then plans for leadership trainings and seminars, club presidents and officers trainings. For the sports development program, we will be reactivating the sports varsity club. And then there will be a training roadmap for varsity players. We will also have the sports fest, the intramurals for 2022, and the sports exhibition. Should you have any questions or concerns, dear parents, regarding homeroom and the student activities, you may key in your questions on menti.com using the code that you're seeing on screen, and we will be responding to them later. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Delcano, for making us aware of those programs and policies. This makes Polinian education unique. As always, our priority is the formation and education of our Polinians. SPCM cultivates good values, fosters camaraderie, and sparks new challenges and opportunities for all Polinians. To discuss about the other services of the school which encourage your children's academic, social, emotional, and personal development, let us all welcome Ms. Vanessa Agris, RGC, our guidance counselor.
Good afternoon, dear parents and guardians. As we have already also, some of you are already also familiar with most of our services, so we will just revisit what we are offering for this year. So the guidance services are basically catering not just to our students, but also to our parents, alumni, our administrators, faculty, and staff. Next slide, please. Next slide. So the goal of our guidance center is for the students, for us to provide assistance in growing awareness, understanding of the students developing self-concept, attitudes, and values, as well as their psychological, emotional, social, and moral maturity for optimum development as a unique person. And of course, facilitate discovery and utilization of their competencies and talents as they become citizens of the world. And also facilitate in creating their niche and making their mark in their chosen careers. So the Guidance Center operates under the framework based on the American School Counselor Association. So our development or our programs and services are catering not just for personal and social, but also career and academic. So the guidance team, next slide po. Thank you. So our guidance facilitator for boys is Mr. Jan Resco, and you may email him at janchi.resco@spcmakati.edu.ph. Next slide po. Okay, for our guidance facilitator for girls from early years to grade school, as well as our school psychometrician is Miss Eunice Basilio. And you may email her at ecbasilio@spcmakati.edu.ph. And yours truly is the guidance counselor for girls for junior to senior high school. And my official email address is blagris@spcmakati.edu.ph. So our office partners not just with the teachers or the administrators, but as well as with you, our dear parents and guardians. So aside from your role as a parent, we also encourage you to fulfill the following roles. To foster regular communication with us, the guidance counselors, also encourage good study habits, and like Mr. Samonte earlier said, provide them opportunities for self-independence and self-regulation, and help them find balance between schoolwork and leisure, and also practice helpful coping mechanisms. So what are some of the red flags whenever you notice that your children or child is already exhibiting these particular signs of stress, mostly physical, they are constantly ill, they have headaches or chest pains or stomach-related issues, like mga ulcer or hyperacidity, okay, and other behavioral changes in sleeping habits, difficulty sleeping, or sometimes naman oversleeping, constantly pacing, they also withdraw or isolate themselves, and they have difficulty relating with others. And then other cognitive and also emotional, difficulty concentrating, bouts of crying, feeling almost sad or anxious or worrisome thoughts. So these are some of the behaviors, physiological effects of stress or being overwhelmed. So if you notice your child having these kinds of symptoms already or signs of stress, please do not hesitate to reach out to our center. Okay? And for your end, what can you do? Okay? Next slide, please. Next slide po. Next slide. Okay, so as usual, remind your child that your family or your home is a safe and secure environment. So encourage them to really voice out their frustrations, what difficulty are they encountering. Let it be a safe and open space for your child. And it would be good, no, especially for those who are staying online, to still remain or maintain family routines, that yung talagang structured na etong ganitong oras ka gigising, you would have your breakfast, you would have time for your personal grooming, and then go to school, and then rest or play, no? So that they will not also get lost on what will I do today, no? If I don't have class or if I have online classes. And let them be involved in family decisions and whatever is happening. And of course, like Miss Delcana earlier said, no, those who are fond of playing online games or using social media. So as much as possible, we try to regulate also and monitor it. And of course, no, be a model of their kumbaga, you whatever you will be doing, how you manage stress, how you handle your own overwhelming work, no responsibilities. They will also be looking up to you. No, how is my mom handling stress? How is my dad expressing no his frustration? So as much as possible, no, try to stay calm and have a relaxation or a downtime, no? Just a time for fun and games, no? Not really ano no parang more on lecturing or tutoring, no? But rather just as a quality fun time for with your child. Okay, next slide please. Okay. So just remember, no, some of the things that you can do. Again, encourage them to speak up. No, whatever frustrations they might have, let them also be open in their emotions, no? Kumbaga, expression of emotions, not just verbally, no? Sometimes they express it through writing or through some of their actions. So let us encourage them also. And keep an open mind, no? Listen to them. Sometimes, no, so we think na, ay, baka tinatamad lang, no? Or ayaw lang pumasok. But maybe something is going on. And we try to also find out, no, what it is, no? And encourage physical activities, no, exercise, just going out, no, especially if you notice that they've been spending too much time in their room alone, no, so try to encourage them to go out, socialize, watch TV with the family, or just to simply walk around the perimeter, no, or the neighborhood. And again, no, show them healthy coping techniques and seek help when necessary. Next slide, please. Okay, so both our services can be availed on-site and online. So our main service would be counseling, individual or group counseling. So a group meaning to say the student can, with the same issues, will be grouped with other students, no? So to foster more interaction then, no? And then we also do consultations and initial and routine interviews. These are just checking in, no, how your student or how your child is adjusting to, especially now that there will be hybrid or transitioning from an online to a hybrid setup. So we are just going to check in on how are they doing and what difficulties they may encounter so that we can also provide them the appropriate interventions and accommodations. And of course, we may sit in, no, whenever necessary between or during parent and teacher conferences. Okay. So how to avail of our service? You can reach us. We have Google Forms, no, for parents requesting appointment for their child. The student themselves can also request for an appointment. And you can also send us an email and we will walk you through the process. Other services, we have individual inventory. So we might send some forms to you for you to fill up, updating of information and other necessary details, no, about your child's moral, emotional and social development. Okay, psychological assessment or mga tests, no, both standardized and non-standardized. Information service, we have here bulletin, no, monthly we come up with bulletin on mental health issues and coping skills. No? research and evaluation for again for PASCO and for our profiling then. Placement mostly for our senior high, no, grade 12 students who will be transitioning to college, no, assisting them in their college applications, and of course, homeroom guidance. So it will not only be for the students, but sometimes we may also request the participation of the parents to act as respondents for our research or to also be part of our participants in webinars, no, in our information service. So we will be having a series of mental health webinars for our students, and we are also extending this service to our parents. Okay, so this is our official Facebook account. You may also send us a message through our Facebook account. And again, no, there will be sometimes no, we will not be able to reply to you real time, but rest assured that we are maintaining or we are keeping track of your messages. And then these are our contact details. So again, no, our email address is guidanceCenter@spcmakati.edu.ph. And don't worry, no, every correspondence will be considered confidential, especially if it concerns some mental health problems or issues, no? And only the guidance center has access to the email. So feel free to send information or ask questions or inquiries through our guidance center email address. Okay? As well as our Facebook page, not only our guidance counselors have access to those pages. Okay? So now let me walk you through our library, one of our student services also. So we have our grade school and high school and senior high school library. So next slide, please. Okay, so our library aims, no, for our students to have their information resources to be accessible to them even when they are online, no? And we are also instilling in them the lifelong reading habit through the use of our library resources. Important, no, as early as pre-kinder or nursery or kinder, no, that we start them with a good reading habit. Next slide, please. Okay, so these are our library staff, our licensed librarian, Mr. Arnold Glenn Assis, and Mr. Eric Tornuas is the library clerk. So they will be the ones to assist you, no, for those who are going here, no, for hybrid. So just a virtual tour. This is what our library looks like. It is located in the second floor of Bar Fault Building. For new parents, this is where the same building where our office is, no, for admission, no. So we are the library is located on the second floor of the same building. So this is the information desk, no. This is where you will see mostly our librarian. This is our high school library. We also have our senior high school library. And also our library services caters we also have, no, we are the one in charge of our audiovisual center. So we have two audiovisual centers. This is usually used for on-site orientations or webinar or seminars, no, or trainings or some talks, no. And then our schedule for library is Mondays to Fridays from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. both on-site and online. Okay. So next slide, please. So we have our online public access catalog, no, where the students, no, if for hybrid students, they can come to our library and just search for resources. We have a facility for that, and also we have our library monitoring attendance for also health protocol tracking, no? And then library bulletins where we post announcements and activities. Okay? So we have various sections. So general circulation. Our library is open access now, so you the students can choose whatever they want to borrow. Okay. We also have a fiction section, a Filipiniana section. Okay, next slide po. We also have serials section, no, where we have periodicals, newspapers, and magazines. No, these are printed materials. Okay. We also have directories, no, annual reports. No, so we also have that in our physical library. Okay, next slide po. Okay. We also have internet access. So there are computer units in our library where they can read online journals. No? And then we also have in grade school and high school library, 13 units, and then 20 units in the senior high school library of for their purpose, especially for hybrid. No, you can go there. I think it will be coordinated with the parents and the students, no, when they are allowed to go to the library. And then we also have CDs and DVDs, charts and maps, no, for reference purposes, and board games. No, you can borrow some board games for during the break time if you are allowed to go out already. No, depending on the health protocol, so you can go to the library and play some games. And then part of our services, we conduct library orientation for our students. No? This time it will be online. Okay, so they will be scheduling it with your kids, no, through the SPC email addresses. Okay, next slide po. Next slide po. Okay, so for the circulation, borrowing of books, for those who are coming hybrid, you can borrow 2 books for a week, okay? And it can be renewed for an additional 5 days. For those students naman who will be joining us online, you are allowed to borrow a maximum of 5 books, and you can keep that for 2 weeks. Okay, but it is not renewable. So when the due date comes, you really have to return it already. Okay. And then returning, if you will not be able to return the books on time, there will be a 5 peso fine per day. Okay, but Saturdays and Sundays are not included in the fines. Okay, and lost and damaged books, as much as possible, report it immediately so that we will be able to do the appropriate action. And as much as possible, an exact replacement is preferred. But if there are no more available or out of stock na yung mga books na yon, similar or a book of the same topic is acceptable. So next slide, please. So you can contact our librarians through email at library@spcmakati.edu.ph. Also, on site, no, they are here both in the grade school and high school library. Okay? And then we also have our Facebook account, no, official Facebook account for our library services. And then we also have some awareness services. So these are services that we provide to give you information on what is the current issues, also to encourage, again, reading habits. Okay. So the next slides will just be some features, so we have our document delivery services. So if you request for a book or a document, let's say an article to be delivered, then we also accommodate that. And we also have virtual storytelling. Okay. And then we also give book recommendations either through our Hill Bulletin or through email or through the Facebook page. What is the current or the latest or the trending, or based on what will be the celebration month or halimbawa, nutrition month, yung mga ganyan. So we also provide those particular, what books would be good to read on those particular topics. And then the daily COVID-19 updates through our various bulletins. Okay. And then again, mga thematic celebrations. So next slide po. So again, you just need to contact our librarian if you want some documents or books to be delivered to you. So we also have our EBSCO host. This is again our online public access catalog where you can search for particular articles or other resources that you may want, especially when you have your projects or performance outputs or mga ganyan. You can refer to our EBSCO host. Okay. Also, another system that we are using in our library is the Scholastic. So these are some ebooks, children's ebooks for reference or some for academic and also for leisure reading. Okay. And that ends my presentation. Thank you for listening. Caritas Christi or Jetnos.
Thank you so much, Ms. Agris, for the informative presentation that will certainly be helpful to our parents and students. At this point, we shall now proceed to the open forum. Although a number of questions have already been addressed earlier, but I believe there are relevant questions that need to be answered. So at this point, may I call on once again Mr. Samonte to answer the questions.
Okay, good afternoon po. Though I answered some para yung mga hindi ko pa po nabasa kanina or yung mga bagong questions po, mostly naman po sa academics ang concern. Some of the questions are say for example po nakapasok yung sa hybrid session nalito po ng schedule. Yung instead of hybrid sa online po nakapasok, counted po ba yon or absent po siya? Counted naman po yon as for the attendance. Just inform the class advisor just in case po ganun yung nangyari. And then, where can I get the student and the parent email and login? In case po hindi nyo ma-receive next week, especially for the new students and parents, email po info@spcmakati.edu.ph. Though I think nakikita ko rin po kasi yung mga info email, medyo may mga nagsisend na po. Keep in touch lang po. Don't worry, we'll reply to you as soon as we can. Let me also read some of the comments kasi yung iba po puro comments naman po yung binibigay. SPCM is like our second home which aligns to our moral and spiritual values at the same time with quality education. Hi po. Sorry, parang nagbabasa na ako ng ng blog. Hi po. Heal program should be part of your new curriculum in St. Paul College of Makati. Thank you and God bless. So I think naman po the HEAL program will continue to evolve as time goes by, so that it would be integrated still really in our curriculum as part of our enhancement. Sorry po dun kanina, baka kanina pong mga comments na lost po yung sound. So but I think we were able to get it back. Next is we will continuously pray that the DepEd will respect the rights and preferences of the stakeholders of the private schools. We also hope and pray that they will listen also and have an open heart. Please continue to pray with us and again po engage in conversations with other people po no para at least ma-open din po sila. Though syempre po there is still value no in the face-to-face learning. Ang amin lang naman po, gradual transition. No? Hopefully, we would be able later on to really be together. No? Yun lang po, gradual transition tayo. And we commend your program and most especially for standing to protect our interests. May God bless you and your efforts. So, thank you po for that comment. No? Again, it's always the stakeholders, the Polinians more likely, who will be really our priority. So we truly appreciate your efforts and protect the interest of the stakeholders. Hats off to you for a very well organized and detailed program. Ayan, pasensya na po kung medyo nag-extend tayo, no. For our dear Polinians, God bless you all from the Luna family po na ano po sila. May I read others? Meron pa po akong nakitang question. Okay. Do we have accredited school bus service providers? Yes, we have accredited school bus providers. Also, if there are parents who are actually interested also to offer service to be accredited no as part of our bus service providers, you may go to school and communicate po with Miss Eileen no para po mako-coordinate po kung ano yung mga kailangan. At the same time, kung kailangan nyo po ng bus service, you may also communicate with them. No? Next, in case of availing service mode of transportation, are kids' health safety guaranteed under the service providers? We have already talked to these service providers. They also agreed to observe the minimum health protocols. In fact, they are also doing certain practices. As far as I know, mag-check din po sila ng temperature. They have disinfecting mga alcohol, yung ganyan, and certain protocols also while inside the service or bus service. So they agree naman po that health safety is a priority. No? Okay po, my kids are new students in SPC Makati enrolled in a hybrid class. I would like to know during online classes, what is the virtual background to be used by the students? So kasama po sa information ibibigay po sa parent and student account is the virtual background. At the same time, the students will be wearing their uniform. No, part of the culture pa rin po na kahit online yung class, naka-uniform pa rin po sila. No, they will still be wearing more likely their upper and bottom clothes na uniform. Yung sapatos pwedeng hindi naman, but still po complete pa rin naman po yung uniform. No. Okay, if our kid, for example, has symptom and was exposed to COVID, no, and we decided not to let her go to school, can she still join in the online class? Yes, she can, or the child can join the online class. No, halimbawa po may sakit or na-expose or wag naman po sana na magka-COVID, they could still join in the online class basta po kaya nung bata, no. Yeah, my son, this is a comment. My son wants to finish his senior high school at SPCM. So thank you po, no. Hopefully mas lumago pa po yung ating senior high school. Okay, so and then ito po, Sister Sok, may I ask po if you are still there?
Yes, Sir Sam, apa.
Yes po. Sister, I think this is the only question po for CF. Will
Yes.
will the incoming grade 6 be having confirmation within school year 2022 to 2023?
No, Because confirmation is for grade 7.
Okay po. So,
Ah,
sige po. So, grade 7, sister.
grade 7. Thank you.
Apo. So far yun lang, sister, yung question
Sige.
na nababasa ko.
In case lang, nandito
Okay,
lang
thank you
naman.
po. All right. Next, other things. Let me check lang po. Yung iba po medyo repetitive na po kasi, no? I am seeing a yearbook po. Sandali lang po. Ayan, when is the release of the yearbook for grade 10? I'm not so sure po if readily available na siya, but just in case po, you may email po yung info@spcmakati.edu.ph to ask. If ever naman po na hindi pa siya ready, i-inform po namin definitely through our social media platforms yung ating pong stakeholders, yung mga graduates po ng grade 10, batch 2020 to 2021. Okay? So I think that's it. Okay. How will the school implement health and safety protocol for Musika Polinos activities, performances, and practices? Usually naman po performances, activities, and they are required, no, to go to school, meron naman pong parents permit, no? And then in all of these activities, syempre lalagay pa rin natin into minimum health protocols, social distancing, face mask, etc. As far as I know po, even the gift program before, observe pa rin po sila ng face mask, ng physical distancing, etc. during that time, no? Most of the co-curricular and extracurricular activities that we'll have will still be on hybrid modality para hindi rin po totally sabay-sabay din po yung bata. So, meron pa po ba? Okay, so I guess that's it. Thank you very much po for all your questions and commendations as well. So, na-appreciate po namin yun. Thank you po.
Thank you, Sir Mr. Samonte, for addressing the concerns, clarifications of our parents. We would like to request our dear parents to stay in the Mentimeter, okay, for the accomplishment of the evaluation of today's event. So thank you, dear parents, for critically and attentively listening and bearing with us. I believe you spared this very moment with us. Thank you for once again entrusting your children under our care. We hope to see you again in the next online sessions designed to help us in this academic journey. We shall now have the closing prayer to be led by Mr. James Rains Morales, Araling Panlipunan Subject Team Leader.
Let us be aware of Christ's presence in our hearts and adore his holy name. In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen. Lord God, we thank you for this day's virtual gathering. We thank you for keeping our minds and hearts open as we gear up for school year 2022-2023. As one Polinian community, may we constantly heed your call to make you known and loved throughout the world. We look forward to the coming school year, assured by your constant guidance and provision. All this we ask and pray in the name of Jesus. Amen. Mary, our mother and model, pray for us. Saint Paul, our patron, pray for us. Father Louis Chauvet and the First Sisters, intercede for us. May the love of Christ compel us, now and forever. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Once again, thank you so much, dear parents. We keep you in our prayers. Be inspired, as Jesus said, don't let your hearts be troubled. Trust in God and trust also in me. John 14, verse 1. Caritas Christi Urget Nos.